Hello, everyone. Welcome to our third class, our third course of property tax liens and deeds with Anthony Brown. So glad to have you. Thank you so much for taking the time out to teach us more. I think with every course, we're getting smarter and smarter and stronger and stronger. So we have about, I would say, 3 weeks, and then we should start our bidding. So tonight is going to be just preparation. It's kind of be open floor, open forum. We're going to open up some websites. Anthony's here to answer questions. So hopefully, ladies, we've done our homework, and I'm looking forward to us walking away feeling like we're ready to bid on our first certificates. All right, so let's get started. Ms. Janice, I love what you were saying right before we started recording. Tell us a little bit about your findings with your homework.
Okay, so I was just snooping around and I found that the Florida bidding website was very easy, a new beginner friendly. And so I was able to, what it is, did the bidder registration and I got my, what do you call it? My bidder number. I signed the participating bidder agreement and I was getting ready to do the funding about how much before even looking at looking at the properties and getting ready to, fund my account, so to speak. But
Right.
I found it was a little more friendlier than Mississippi, and I found Prince George not too bad. I didn't look at Baltimore, and then I didn't look at the other one you suggested. But Florida I found was the easiest. So I said to you when I text you, I said, well, we're going to stay in Florida because Anthony knows Florida. Florida is easy. So maybe we
Florida
should stay in
is
Florida.
easy. So I'm so glad that you said that because I totally agree that
Okay.
Florida's website was very user friendly. And we're
Yeah.
going to probably use that to lead the class tonight. So Anthony, tell us a little bit about your research because I know you kind of did some research too. So what are your findings? And thank you for
Um,
hosting us again.
oh, no, welcome. The only one promise I need from all of you is that you're going to partake. You're going to put some money in the kitty and get
Yes.
some returns and put it back in the bank and be happy about it, right? So
Yeah.
definitely you want to do this. So definitely I did some research based on the 4 states. Definitely agree Florida was the easiest when I first got started. Some of the counties are so friendly. Everything's interactive, so that's a good thing. Maryland was okay. A little bit, a lot of digging. They send you all over the place a little bit more, but it's okay. You just got to focus. So that's one of the things with tax liens. You have to stay focused because there's so much properties, so much different little things you need to catch up on in terms of rules and regulation that you get disjointed. So you got to stay focused on it. DC, never like DC. Guess it's just politics, right? So, but it's okay. Just you can still make money. Mississippi a little bit surprising with Mississippi, they did the opposite. They did overbidding. I'm like, how do you do overbidding? But then I figure what they're trying to do. They get the excess funds going to the kitty, going to the state coffer, so to speak. And of course, a little bit more competition. So I get what they're trying to do, but a little bit kind of scary though to be overbidding at somebody, paying twice as much for somebody's taxes when the tax is only, $500. Why would I want to pay $1,000 for that person's taxes? So a little bit tricky there, but still money to be made. That's the good thing about it, right? So with that said, I want to just, haphazardly, if you guys want to show me the properties that you had, so we can at least look on those properties and make sure that they're good enough to put money on. Or if you want to say, finish setting up your accounts, that's something that you want to do as well because you want to register, you want to fund the account because everything is so timely. And the good thing, last thing I want to say is that when you do fund the account, you could fund and bid. Once it's open, you could fund and bid and walk away, right? You don't have to be monitoring like daily, like, an hourly. You could just set it up and walk away. You check back maybe 24 hours later if you're the winner. And that's very important. You check back because you have a short window to pay the balance that you owe. So you don't want to just win and just walk away because they take your money, right? So that's something to be mindful of. So, it's something that's just like anything else. You got to put in the time. You got to follow the rules, and then once you win, you follow up with your portion of the bargain, which is to pay the balance, right? So, and because you don't want to get money taken away. You don't want to be banned either, right? So you want to play by the rules, all right?
So, Ms. Janice, I'm proud of you because when I saw this application, I was like, oh no, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Do
Well,
I
I
say
hope I
yes
did it
or
right.
no?
Right.
So,
So you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that, Miss Janice. So you got to make a business decision now, whether you're doing it personal, right, or you're gonna put it in your business name, right?
Yeah, I
Either
did.
one, they accept both, right? So you made a, it's a tax question for you now, right? Do you want, because there's going to be a little bit of tax, you're going to get a double nine, right? So eventually, or 1099, whatever it is, I forgot what it is, but you're going to get tax papers. And so that's just going to be rolled into your taxes. So you want to make sure that it's either cushioned or offset. And, if it's in a business, you could always offset it with the expense, right? You had to, spend, put in hours in it, work in the office to get up the bids, get the bids set up. So I mean, that's a write-off, right? You're working in the office, your corner office, that 100 square feet in a house, right? So it has tax advantages. So just be mindful if you also want to go business or you want to go personal name, it has a tax ramification, right? Business is always better. You could hide that money. You could offset the wins that you gain with expenses, right? Because with a personal name, it's harder to write off stuff. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to, but it's no big deal. I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, especially if you take that same money as a personal and reinvest it again in another bigger deal, then that wipes out your gain, right? In terms of paying taxes. So there's you could always double back and beat the taxman, so to speak. Right.
right.
So it's not no wrong or right answers here.
So I'm gonna
Right?
pull up, yes, I got it. So I did mine in business. I did get to that point where I have a bidder number, but I'm gonna pull up the Marion County website. So Maria, actually before I do that, which county did you research? Did you just look into Mississippi?
Yeah, because I'm still trying to navigate. I don't know where to, and I'm
So
still
I'm gonna show you.
to go into the portal, set up an account,
Yeah.
those are things I need to figure
Okay.
out.
So we're going to show you that tonight. And I think
Yep.
I would strongly encourage that we all kind of just go to Marion County, the Ocala, because it's easy. I mean, what I'm going to show you, it's really user friendly. And so I think that you'd make more progress and feel more confident, because I felt confident. I was like, oh, okay, they are actually explaining step by step.
And
So,
then use that, I guess, as a training ground, so that if we then plug it into Baltimore, DC, Mississippi, whatever other county, we know that the Florida, Ocala, Marion County gave us the blueprint.
So
Yeah.
it's basically the same steps in each county to,
Once you're in the States, the steps going to be the same or close
Gotcha.
enough. Once you go
Okay.
outside of the States, they have little nuances that you want to be mindful of, right? So,
okay.
but I'm going to give you, Maria, definitely going to give you something to take away where you have like some steps, and not only have the steps, but also have the sites that are going to be interactive for you, right? Whether it's the training site,
Okay.
then the real site, and of course all the stuff that supports that real site.
Okay.
Oh,
right?
that'll be good.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen and just kind of show you the Marion County. I'm gonna go back again because I just want to show you that this one's pretty organized. All right. So I just put in there, this is the Marion County tax collector.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the main page, right? This is the entry page. And then I went here where it said property taxes, and I scrolled down to the bottom. Hold on. The only thing about this is you gotta like shrink your screen. 100% is too big. Okay. I'm sorry if it's like not big, but then it says down here tax certificates and deed sales. So I went here. And now before I even get into the portal, and I'm listening to me like I'm sounding so confident, but I just kind of played around. I was like, oh, this has a lot of good information. So it gives you the calendar. So this shows you the timeline, and it has it by dates. So I loved this.
Yeah.
Right. So it shows
Yeah.
like when the tax becomes delinquent. So I was looking at like, okay, where are we? We're like the 16th. So they're about to do their second publication in the Ocala Gazette. Remember that he was saying that you have to notify the public?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm
Here
saying
it
this
is.
correctly, right? And if I'm
Yep.
saying something wrong, interject, please. So
Yes.
we're doing our second notification,
Yep.
and then they're gonna have one more on the 24th of May. That's gonna be the
Right.
final one. They're
Right.
closed for Memorial Day weekend,
Right.
and then we have to get ready for bidding on the 1st. Because I don't think I was asking about this mass bid, and I don't think we're there yet, right, Anthony? Is that fair to
Mass
say?
bid, which is at the bottom you're talking?
Right here it says the submission of mass bids files must be completed by 5 p.m. So I'm assuming that's like those big, like if you're doing
Yep.
a lot.
Institutional billers, right? Bidders.
Yeah. So
So
that's
those
not,
are the big guys they're gonna bill by bulk bidding. So nah, we don't need to be mindful of that. I think the main thing you need to, by the end of this month, if you're doing this county or Florida, you want to at least see the list that was published, right? Um, you want to check it back. I mean, maybe at least once every maybe 3-4 days, because people are going to redeem their property, so it's going to shrink the list. And then that way you could start looking at the properties and making note of the parcel numbers or the batch number or the whatever tag for that property, so that you could start tracking it and then at least investigating the property. Because come June 1st, you want to just go in confidence saying, okay, these 5, I could shut my eyes and bid on them because I already did my homework, right? So you want to, before the month is over, at least know the properties inside out, what they look like, what the potential is, and a little bit more if you want to go deeper in terms of, is this a regular pattern for this person not to pay the taxes? So you know how much they put. Because if somebody doesn't pay their taxes, April 15th, not April, July every year, that person, you might want to grab that one because now you're getting your money back much faster versus the person who pushes out to the exact 2 years, right? So now you have to wait 2 years for that person. Of course, if they come across money and they feel they want to pay their taxes, they'll pay it early. But some people push it to the clock all the way to the 2-year window. Some people pay it as soon as money becomes available. So if you could pick that up, and how you pick that up is going to the
okay.
tax
I want you
department
to show
website.
that.
And
I'm going to stop sharing so that you can share, because that was one of my questions.
All right, so give me 1 second. Let me minimize this guy. Let me switch screen.
So we are kind of jumping around a little bit, so I'll go back after because this is a good point. So what it is when you are looking at the properties, and I'm going to show that, I'll go back to the website. When you're looking at, let's say Jane Doe, and she has a past due amount, you want to see what is her history of payment. And so that's where we're going. This is a part of the research steps of like screening a property. So you're going to say, okay, Jane Doe, she's past due every year. That's what Anthony's saying. And so he's going to show us where we could find that information at. So where do we find that?
1 second. Let me do a backdoor entrance here.
Oh, and I think I need to make you, I need to just make you post too, so you can share your screen. And if you need a second, I wanted to show some more stuff on that page. So just let me know.
Keep going. I'm just gonna.
Okay. Yep. Just let me know when you're ready, and then I'll stop. Okay. So this is a good outline, right? This kind of shows you, and I think if you print this off, I printed it off, and it's going to kind of help me stay on track of what my deadlines are. And we'll go deeper into the bidding process, but we're right now we're right here heavy in this May month where we're doing our preparation. Okay. So then on the same page, we have procedures. Let me see if what this was. And I love this because like I said, they give you links. So this kind of breaks down the process for Marion County. You have to agree to the terms. It kind of tells you bidders must have their maximum award length. So this kind of tells you what you need to have completed prior to bidding. And this is on that same page. It says procedures, right? So it had the calendar, it had the procedures, and then this was another good tab as well. It had the frequently asked questions for delinquent accounts. So it kind of shows you what is a tax certificate. It lets you know the maximum rate that you can get in Marion County is 18%. There is, I think, an 18-month redemption period. It was 18 months, or maybe it's 2 years. You're right, it's 2 years.
2 years.
2 years. So this kind of goes over and it tells you all about the interest, like what you were saying about doing it in personal or in business. So these answer those questions, right? And it also explains how the auction goes. And we're going to go over that as well. So this is what I like about Marion County when I was saying they kind of spell it out for you and they give you the information that you need and you don't have to dig. It's right here all on one page. Then they have the practice site. And this is where I got my bidder number. And I think, or did you do practice site too, Miss Janice, or you did the real thing? Because I was nervous. I wasn't ready.
No, I just did it. I think I read it though. I looked at this and then I felt, okay, let me just go through the steps. And I
Yeah.
did it.
So I did the practice site, but unfortunately the information doesn't transfer. So I'm gonna have to go and set it up in the real site. But it's okay. I was just like,
Right, the practice is only practice, right? You have to have a separate account for the real deal.
yeah. Now I did have this question. It says that you only have to have 10% in your kitty, right? So is
Right.
that like, so is that saying like, okay, I want to bid, my budget is this amount. You and I were talking about this a little bit. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. So my budget, like, let me say I want to spend $1,000. That's what I'm budgeting for this tax season, this property tax bid season. At the time when I create my account, I only need to have $100 in there.
Yeah, right. So your 100 would be the 10%, correct? But when you bid now, you got to make sure that all the taxes that you're paying off don't exceed $1,000. Otherwise, the number 11, when you get over the 1,000, you won't win that one. So you'll win everything up to the $1,000 exhausted because they
Okay,
assume
so
that you're good for $1,000.
got it.
So
Okay.
you got to do a quick math. The one is $200, one is $300. That's 500. You have $500 left, right? So you can do only whatever how many more you can get for 500. Maybe some $100 taxes, whatever, or 250 again. So that's another four. So with the $1,000, you might only get four. Winning, four, potential to win four. If it's cheaper, then you can win more. But and of course, what I tell people sometimes, don't be shy to put in extra deposit because the ones that you go after aggressively, you might lose them, and then the others that you see might be a little more pricey, and then you want to go after those, but your budget, your deposit is enough to cover those, right? So you want to make sure that if with 150, 200, it doesn't matter. It's coming right back to you. It's not that money can't be missing. There's no burning made off when it comes to this system, and that's why it's so foolproof, right? So you could put a little bit more if you have it. That way, you could get more, because you might win the first five and like, oh, I need to pick up a few more, and you have the extra $50, you could bid on more, right? Or $100, bid on more. Just keep going because it's coming right back to you. So let me share screen now. So share screen. Losing stuff here. I'm bad.
Oh, it's okay.
Stuff open.
I was gonna make a Monday reference, but I was like, just let it go. I was like, I was just gonna be like, as long as it's no videos, I'm okay. But I was like, it's okay. Well, if you have any questions about how are you feeling about the Marion County website, Janae, Maria? What are you,
I mean, it's showing step by step, and I think that's easy for me to navigate. I think just like with Janice looking on the Hinds County, it's a little, I mean, I'm trying to find where to go to actually, do what I need to do to bid.
Yeah.
And
so that's
kind of complicated.
Yeah, I would say definitely start with the Marion County, and it's okay to have tax liens out of state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
because once I get the process down, then I think I will, spread to Prince George was the next one I would go to because that was the next one, a little bit easier to follow. I don't know about Baltimore. But you're saying the Mississippi, Anthony, they double up on what's owed. Why is that? So that they can
Not
make
double up, but they do bidding over. You bid over. So if the bill is $1,000, they want you to bid, 1,100, 1,200. They want you to go above the bid
Oh,
amount.
okay.
That's just extra
Above
money for them.
Yeah,
Which
above
is
the
which is
taxed
it
amount.
doesn't make sense to some people, but I get it. But it's I'm not gonna pay your taxes more than what it is. If your tax bill is $1,500, I want to pay $1,500. I don't want to pay more. Even though I'm going to get it back, but I want to spread my money more, right? Not on one property or one asset, right?
Which means I may need to move out of Hines County and go into like Madison County.
Yeah.
Their
Right.
taxes are cheaper.
So Maria and everybody else, this applies to everybody. So you always, for tax liens and deeds, always stick with the property appraisal office and the tax department. Those two guys. So that's where every property comes back to that tax department. So stick with those two guys, and you should at least get a good running start to get to the tax liens or the tax deeds. All right. Don't start anywhere else. Like for instance, here on my screen, I started off here with the property appraisal office, because in most cities and states, both guys play together, right? The property appraiser can only appraise the property because that's his job, and then that data that he's used is funneled to the tax department, right? So they go hand in hand. So if you tag one guy, most likely leads to the other guy. So if you tag the tax department guy, he's going to lead you back to the property appraisal guy. So those are the two families that you should be playing in. Don't mess with anybody else, because you have third-party sites that's going to pull that data and pretend that if it's their data, and before you know it, you make a wrong click and you're actually buying something that is free, right? So stick with the property appraisal office and the tax department. It's always going to be a gov or something like that ends in a gov, right? So this is just random one here that I'm picking up. I'm starting off with the property appraisal office here. I'm just going to click on a parcel number, and the only task I'm doing now is to try to see your tax record. All right, so you can see where this is a property appraiser website still, but if you go down, you can see they point you back and even provide a link to the tax department website. So they play hand in hand. They go hand in hand. They support each other. So I'm going to go now to the tax department website for this property. Of course, I'm going to have to agree. And now you can see my screen. This is now the tax roll for this person's property. Mr. Smith in 4100 Southwest 4th Avenue. So the main thing you want to see, let me minimize some of these guys here. All right, so what I want to do now, you want to click on the parcel number. Sometimes the parcel number and the tax number is the same. Sometimes they put a letter in front of it or something, but for the most part, it's almost the same, right? If you could, it's almost, but not all the time, right? Sometimes some people try to get fancy and they put a different number altogether, right? Like for a tax bill. So for the most part, it should be, synonymous, all right? So I would click on this.
That's the tax number and the parcel number.
Right. But they put an R. Notice they put an R in front of it now, for whatever reason, right? So click on that. So now he's going to show you the tax bill, the online tax bill since it came into existence, since 2009 all the way to 2023, right? So the last, from 2015 to 2023, this guy pays his bill on time. Boom, 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 boom. So he pays the bill. So something happened. So, just looking at the record now. So the only purpose of this now is not to see how much money it is, if it's a good property. The only thing you're looking is for seeing a pattern. That's the only thing you're using this portion of the portal for, to see a pattern, right? So you can see in 2009, they paid the bill. It could be a change of owner, or it could just somebody got older and got, delinquent and stuff. But from 2012, you notice that they start messing with certificates, got redeemed. Sold, got redeemed, got sold, got redeemed. So you see a pattern from 2012 to 2014, the last 2 years. I mean, that 2-year period, they weren't paying the taxes on time. It got picked up by an investor like ourselves, and then he quickly paid the bill. So just looking at the date now, you could see where we could go in closer. So now it was sold in 2013, right? And it was redeemed 9 months later, right?
Okay.
You see that? You see 2013 here? They paid. This is when we, the investor, paid it now, right? June, which is the season for that, right? So that investor paid it in June, and then it didn't get redeemed till January, March the following year, right? And so the guy got his money back. Let's look on a certificate just to see what it looks like.
Oh.
Hope you can see my screen. can still my new screen now or no?
Mhm.
We could see
Well,
it.
it's probably small, right?
Yeah, it's small, but we could kind of
I
still see.
see
I
it.
can
It's
see it.
good. I can
I
see
can
it
see it.
good. Oh,
All right,
beautiful.
so basically this I didn't need to come here, so I'm gonna come back out of this. But the main thing is that you could just see that this person paid an extra 5% on the bottom left. You
5%.
could see the extra 5% was paid because it's apparently now this bidder won maybe at 5%, right? Which is kind
So
of low, right?
they made $89.40 off of this
Right,
certificate.
correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
In 9 months, right? Again, these are what you invest and you walk away, right? The money's coming back to you, just gotta wait for it, right? So at the end of the day, this was a small one. So let me see if I can go back.
Yeah. So we talked about this a little bit earlier too about like we you wouldn't typically go this low on like
No.
an interest on a percentage, right? As low as 5.
Right. I stick at 12 is good. 10 is okay. I try to stick to 12. I notice the winning bids are always between 14 and 16. Occasionally you can get a few 18s, but don't expect that everything's going to be at 18 unless you want to buy two ways. Buy over the counter after the bid is over, or you're just hitting a bunch of them at 18, something I think nobody wants. But again, you still got to do the homework to make sure that it's redeemable, right? I can't go back.
So sweet spot is between 14 and 16%, and the minimum is like between 10 and 12, but 12 is pretty good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
exactly.
So
So let me
5% is kind of low because if they had done 10% on that, it would have been more like 160 plus dollars.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So let me share again. 1 second. So that makes sense. Any question on that? Let me
Yeah,
share
no,
again.
yeah.
You said 10 to 12%, Jasmine, was what?
The minimum.
The minimum.
So when we're like, when we
No,
go
the
back to
minimum is zero. The minimum is zero.
minimum is 0.
Right. So you got to determine for yourself what are you comfortable doing all this work for. And
Right.
10% might be your benchmark, 12%, 14, 16, doesn't matter. You pick your number. This is your money, it's your investment. How much effort you're going to put in, how much you want on your money, right? As long as you're beating, doing enough to beat Wall Street or beat the bank, you're always going to get ahead, right? If it's when you start doing volumes, that's when you start doing the volume, right? So, 5%, a little bit low. But then if again, it always come back to your playbook. If you're doing the 5%, you have no interest in the return on the lien, but you have interest to get in the property, right? So sometimes you do it because if I see a property that is right between two mansions, and I get a chance to pick that one up, I'm not interested in the returns. I'm only interested in the property. So I'm going to play the long game, right? So you have a short game, which is getting money back quickly, and a long game is you want that property bad, right? So if you want it bad, you're going to go low because you want to win it, and then once you win it, you're going to be the one to take it to foreclosure, down the road, so to speak.
Because
So
you'll be in first lien position because you're paying
the
the
property.
Right. If
property.
there's no mortgage on the house, yes, you're in first lien position, so to speak.
Okay.
Right. And then you're the one taking it to court to pursue getting your money back plus interest. Of course, the guy before you, if this guy has a pattern, like, let's go back to this for a second. So in 2012, this guy didn't pay his taxes and it got sold and he redeemed it 9 months later. The following year, we did the same thing. It got sold, and this time he pushed it almost to the limit. So 2 years before he actually paid it off, right? So, so this is this. And then the third year, he did the same thing. It took maybe 6 months, another 9 months to pay it back again. So this guy, he knows it. So some people know the law, right? And they play the game long enough. So is this person that you want to invest with? For this person like this, I'll probably go low like what the other investor did, because some point in time he's going to mess up and he's going to hit that 2-year window and have the chance to pursue the property. Of course, you're not going to get the property immediately after the 2 years. You're going to get it, maybe, depends on how busy the court is or the state is. You might get it in 8 months later because you got to file a petition. You got to, wait for it to hit the auction block, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not going to be bam, 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 right? It's a process, right? You got to petition the court, do the filing in the newspaper, all that stuff to get to court. And that might be 6 months as earliest, right? During COVID, it was like 2 years before the property get back to the market. So you would wait 2 years for your get the money back. You didn't get the money back. You decide to pursue the property, and now it's 4 years later, right? So
Right.
that's why you got to know how high you want to go and how low you want to go, right? Go
So
ahead,
if it
Anna.
gets that far, does the owner
Sorry?
have the ability to go back and get his property back if it goes all through, the court? And when it gets to that point, does the owner?
No. Let me
Okay.
clarify that. Sorry.
Okay.
So this is tax lien,
Okay.
right? So tax means that you don't own the property, you have the
Right.
rights to the property, you just have a lien against the property. You pay
Right.
the person's tax, so you have a lien. So you owed money now, right? And
Right.
he's up to pay you whether the house is sold or the property is sold. You automatically get paid regardless, right? Because that's what the title company's going to do. They're going to make sure everybody gets paid.
Okay.
So you're not owning the property, but this 2 year that I'm talking about is really this tax person, this owner has 2 years to pay you back.
Right.
If he gets to pay you back after 2 years, now you have the right to pursue the property to secure the actual property now, which is to get the real asset now. So one is just a paper note that you have on the property as a lien holder. The second one would be actually physically getting the property, getting the deed to the property, right? So this 2 year that I'm talking about is only to get into court
Get
so that
your
you can
money and
take
your
the property
your
away
interest.
from him if he doesn't want to pay. Yeah, and most of the time,
Gotcha.
he still has the right to pay even after you take him to court. And so, but his expense is more, right?
Gotcha.
So instead of 5% is going to be like 15 because you have to do newspaper, you got to do the court fee, you got to do the filing paperwork, you got to pay the sheriff, and so his tax bill is going to be at least 2 to 3 times more than what if he just paid his bill up front. All right.
Okay.
Good question, though.
Anthony,
But yeah, so definitely keep that in mind.
Sorry, that's only in a deed state, right? So if it's not a deed state, then you don't have the opportunity to take him to court and try to secure the property.
Right. So you want to make sure it's a deed state.
Right.
Florida is a deed state.
Yes,
Florida's-
Florida is both lien and deed. Florida is lien and deed, right?
Florida's
But
a
be
deed.
mindful now, like I want to touch on which state was this again that I was looking at? If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Maryland. Maryland is very tricky. So Maryland will let you pay the person taxes, you wait out the period, and then you pursue the property again. Let me double check 1 second. So Maryland, Maryland is very tricky. Maryland is a deed state. So what they do, they let you pay the person taxes, but have the right to the property versus having just a lien on the property. And the only difference is that it's redeemable, right? So that's the drawback. So you can see the states are playing the game where they're giving the owner a chance to redeem themselves, but at the same time they're giving you the investor a chance to get the property, if that makes sense.
So after and I don't want to confuse too much, but if you'll use like say Maryland, even after you get the deed, there's still a redemption period. Is that what you're saying? Or no, once you have
Right,
the deed.
because they're being a deed state. They're a deed state. So they go straight from you paying the person's bill and you have the right to get the property until the person redeems it. So that's a deed state.
Got it.
Right?
They're not a
In
lien
Florida,
state, they're just a deed state.
Right. So in Florida is a lien and deed state. And the difference in Florida now is that once you pursue the property the second time around, like the first time you paid the bill, you waited the 2 years, you didn't get your money back, so you secure the property by taking him to court. You get the property now, months later, now you own the property outright. And that person redemption period is gone. So you see with the states, so the different state does it differently. They give you the 2 year window somewhere, but they give you so in Florida, give you the redemption. Let me say redemption mean taking back the property. They give you that in the lien. In the lien portion of the transaction and not in the deed portion of the transaction. In a deed state, they give you that in the deed portion so that you could pay the taxes and get the property, but they have the right to come back and claim it, right? So that's the difference with the deed state between between a lien and a deed state, right? So let me not go into that too deep because that's going into, right? But we want to focus on tax liens, which is just paying the taxes and getting the return on the investment, all right?
So class 4 will be about the deed.
Deed only state.
Deed only state. Well, that's what we're gonna do, spend bigger money, but we're getting assets now, real assets that we could put in the legacy, right? So it's okay.
Right, yeah, let's put that on ice.
Yes. So that's a good question too. I was saying, okay, so if you don't mind, stop sharing your screen, then I want to go back and I want to pull up the list because I want to show how there's so many varying prices. That was the other part that, I was like, wow, they're kind of cheap. Like, it's not as bad as I thought. So we were talking about, like creating a budget. And as us being beginners, what would you say is a good starting budget, or what do you typically budget while I try to find the list? What do
As based on each year, depends on how much other activities I'm doing in other investment. At least I try to set aside at least $5,000. That's, I call it play money, because that $5,000 ultimately can get you a house, right? Right? Or get you a property. So it's play
Okay,
money, right?
okay.
So
I was
that's the
like, you see
mindset.
my eyes pop like
That's the
Monday. I was
mindset.
like,
That's the mindset, right? You started off with a little $5,000, a little $1,000, and then maybe 2 years later, that property is now yours, right? So, so it's always about just playing the game, staying in the game long enough to reap the reward, right? So anything you want to set aside is fine. I mean, just get plugged in. I mean, the money's coming back to you guaranteed. The return is good. And if you just want to stick with 18%, stick with 18%. You're going to win a few. You're not going to win a lot, but you'll win a few as well. So don't be shy thinking that you got to keep up with the Joneses and try to beat, at 10 or 15%. Stick with the 18 if you want to. But you got to be a little bit more diligent in terms of snagging those small hanging fruits, like maybe those that has a small tax bill for $100. Maybe everybody skip over, right? So, but at least you're getting 18% on $100, right? And if you do 10 of those, it adds up, right?
I think this is the list. No, is this it? Yeah, this is, ooh, I think this is it. Yeah, this is it.
Pages. Yeah, I
Going
copied
blind
that.
already.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so now everybody take a deep breath, because this is where I was a little like, oh my God, how do I approach this list?
That's the
Right?
kind of list I ran across in Hines.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
crazy.
copied one page.
Yep.
So, help us, Anthony.
All right,
How
so
do
zoom in a
we,
little bit. Zoom in and zoom in. Let me
okay, zoom
just
in. Okay.
on that same page. Let me just see what it looks like. Otherwise, I
Okay.
have to pull it up. Okay, so we
60
got
pages.
Oklahoma Resort. Okay. I see what it
I
is.
can
Okay,
move
so
it around too. So,
yeah,
okay, see, so just breaking it down a little bit. So this is like the parcel number. Well, this is saying 2023 tax year. This R is the account number or the parcel number. I don't
right.
know
But
what.
the R only belongs to the tax department. The numbers
Right.
behind it belongs to the parcel
Parcel.
number.
Right. Okay. This is the no, this is who it's owned by. So this is
Right.
Lake
No,
People
that's the
RV.
city. That's it. That's the city that is in.
Oh, this is the
I
city,
think.
but it says LLC right here, no? See, it says Lake Aloha RV Resort LLC. No?
Go guys, scroll a couple. Let me see. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha,
Oh,
gotcha. You're
wait,
correct. You're
wrong way,
correct.
wrong way. Okay.
Oh, I got that. Okay. What number you
Sorry.
on?
I went kind of
Yes, you're
fast.
correct. You're correct. You're correct. You're correct.
Okay. So these are the owner. This is the address. And this is the tax amount that's due.
8/15/36.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. So I was kind of surprised
Hmm.
because there are some that are like $89. Hold on, let me see. I'm not doing very well at managing the scroll. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Above the top, it's Lake Oka, whatever, number 274, $89.57. The
Yeah,
same place.
yeah, see?
Like a
So
few of
like
them.
see? Yeah, some of these are like $89.59.
Yeah.
These are,
So
reasonably
this
priced.
right. So keep scroll on a couple pages and come back. I just want to see something. Just
You
scroll
want
on
me
a
to
couple pages. Just keep
go back
scrolling.
towards the beginning? Because I'm
Yeah,
going
up doesn't matter. Yeah, go to like page 3, 4, 5. I just want to see a pattern.
Oh,
Keep
okay.
going.
Let me go. Okay, let me get
Let's
in
keep
the.
going.
Okay, how about
Sure.
this? And if you want, do you want to pull it up? This was on the, if it
True.
makes,
Okay, all right. I just wanted to. Okay, all right, makes sense. Okay, that's fine. All right, so yeah, so to answer your question, yeah. So when it's so low, like $89, it means that it's probably a vacant lot. When it's so low, or could be an RV park, right? So the fact that on page 2 where you saw that guy had so much property, so it seemed like he's either the owner of the park,
right.
and that's why he owns so much property in that area. So it might be an RV park, right? And then just looking at the name of the company too, right? So farming.
Okay.
So Georgia construction. Okay, right. So that's fine. So the
So yeah,
ones that are owned by other investors, you might want to leave those for now a little bit, because chances are they have their system in place and they're investors too, so they're going to redeem their own property. They're not going to let it, come to another investor like us. Of course, things happen. They get old, they get senile, whatever. But the point is, if you stick with actual owner, then you know that you're talking to a person or working with a person, and that person would mess up, right? Whether they get, they go in, they had an accident, or they're now in the hospital, or because they had the property for many, many years. They might be an older person. They might be inherited property, so, and that person doesn't want it, so they just ignore the tax bill. So you're sticking with a person helps a lot to either win the bid, or knowing that if you win the bid, you can get paid or acquire the property. All right. So nothing wrong with going after other investors too. That's fine too. They mess up as well. But if you stick with the owner occupied property, like this guy, go back to your left for a second. This guy, Jack Holbrook,
right here.
yeah, he's big time. He's big time in Florida. I mean, in Ocala, he's big time. This guy owns literally everything. I mean, he's big time. I think, and he's an older gentleman. I think he was an attorney, and he's an older gentleman who retired, but he makes so much money from this process. He just buys and sells like crazy. So that name I know. A couple other names I've seen that I've known, but the point is, stick with the owner occupied properties, and
not the LLCs.
Yeah, because they're not investors just like you, right? So they're going to cover their assets, right? They're going to pay the bill. If they own the property, they're going to pay it. Just a matter, they might just not paid it yet, right? But of course, you still got a few guys who drop the ball, or the companies or the business, whatever. So anything is possible. But the owner occupied ones, knowing that you're dealing with a person, not an investor, right? So that's just a little extra way you might want to guarantee that you're not competing with another investor or get your hopes up. Because the thing is, you look at so much properties, and then when you get to the actual auction, they redeem it the day before, right? Want to decrease that chance of doing all this homework, and then the last day before the bid starts, somebody pay the tax bill, because they could pay the bill at midnight, right, or whatever, right? So, A plus Ohms, yeah, that's a developer guy. I know that guy.
So I guess what I'm thinking, right, is that I was hoping that this would be an Excel spreadsheet. That way I could have manipulated it some, but it's not. So am I supposed to just go through these 60 pages? Like that's,
no, just pick, I'll do the opposite. I set my budget and say if it's $2,000, whatever, then I just, because the list is so long, right? 60 pages, I just focus on the ones who have lower tax bill, $200, $250. I try to make sure it's worth it too. So if I'm doing like a $200, that's okay, 18% on $200. Oh, okay, I'm getting that return on my money. So I'm figuring out how much I'm going to get. And so, you want to stretch your money. So if you're doing $1,000 or $2,000, you stick with the lower hanging fruits. Nothing wrong with them, right? But of course, you could get more options to bid, right? So at $2,000, at $200 tax bill, you're talking, that's what Matt is right, that's 10 property you're going to secure that season, right? So it's worth it. So you go lower, because I wouldn't take the $2,000 and bid on something that's $800, right? You're limiting your chances. Of course, it might be a better property or higher return property in the future, but you're limiting yourself to, again, you're doing this only for the tax and for the return on investment, the 18%, the 16%, the 14%. So the more you could stretch up money over different properties, the more it's coming back to you, right? So you want to not do the 800. I would stick with the 200, maybe 150, if you could find those, right? So those are the lower hanging fruits.
So now, so I just want clarity, because I'm like, want to make sure that we all are going to be able to progress. So I come up, my budget's 2,000. I now have 10 properties listed. Is 10 properties enough, or should I have 20 properties just in case I don't win the bids? And I guess maybe that's where we should go next, is like
right. So yeah, you're correct. Definitely add a few more to the list, because you're not going to hit it off. Because remember, you're competing against institutional investors who are just going to buy in bulk. You're going to compete against other investors like yourself. So the more you have, because again, it's so much properties, right? And you put your name on a couple of them, And if your rate is the lowest rate and you win, boom, you know, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, you know, so you pick up 10. So don't just do 10 because you might not win any of those 10. There's years that I've gone where I only picked up 2 or 3 properties. I'm like, man, after all this work, I only got 2. You know, then I have to start thinking about it like, okay, I hope this person doesn't pay it off so I can pursue the property, right? You know, because you realize that you want to get back maximum return on your time. So to answer the question, do a little bit more than 10, right?
Okay.
You're not, because you're going to get wiped out fast.
Okay. Now I
Double
want to
it if
go
you
back.
can.
I want to go back to this because, okay, so now, and we're going to do the research. We're going to go back to that part, but I just want to understand and hopefully help everyone with the timeline. All right. So now we've scrubbed our list. We got our strong 10 to 20 properties. So what are they saying here when it says lots 1 through 4 are awarded every 2 hours, beginning with lot 1 at 8 a.m.? Like, so what?
Right.
I want to understand.
So the word lot means, think of it in terms of batches, right? So that list that you saw, 1 to 60, that might just be 1 lots of property. So they're going to bundle them in groups, right? So because there's so much property. So they'll say lot 1 will have 8,000 properties in there, right? Lot 2 might have another 8. Lot 3, another 8. So you're talking 34, for its 32,000 properties that has potential to win, right? So there's a lot of properties, right? So that's why they divide it up like that. So they for the county to handle themselves, they got to put them in the lots, because otherwise it's just going to go crazy. So they release them. It's like a release, right? You're going to release a few batches. People going to bid and win and bid and win. Some going to fall off the cracks and go, you know, over the counter stuff. And then once they clear their head, because they're going crazy right now. If we're going crazy trying to look at all these property, they're going crazy as well. So they have to release them in batches, where they call lots, so that they could handle themselves, right? So the first 4 goes out, they see what the numbers comes in, all the winners, they kind of starts queue them up, because you have 24 hours to pay, so they're going to start queuing them up. So even though you're putting them out for bidding, they still got to collect the money the next 24 hours. So now you need another team who's going to handle that, right? Even though somebody with electronic. And so they kind of slowed it. It's like slowing the roll. So day 1 is crazy already. So for them to do all of them at the same day, from lot 1 to lot 8, they're going to lose their mind. So they say, let's break it in 2, right? And then they put out first 4. Everybody go crazy and try to pick them up. The next day, they catch their breath. And they try to do the same thing again the next day. And then they even have a reserve batch that they leave for leftovers. Like, they're just going to spill them over, because you're going to some that falls through the crack, they're going to end up in batch 9 or lot 9, right? So it's just a matter of pacing themselves. So it's not saying it's a rule or regulation. It's just a matter of so much volume of properties being put out for tax liens that they have to kind of control themselves.
Okay. How do we identify the lots? Like, so let's say I want to bid on this one for $92.19 for 6175 North. How do I know which lot that's in?
Right. So the list here, I'm not sure why the list is coming out like this. Normally the list comes out in Excel. So they're going to, so that when they put them out for just before the day comes, like the end of the month, you're going to see a file that says lot 1, lot 2, lot 3, lot 4. When you go into that lot, then everything expands. So whatever you saw here maybe came from lot 1. I'm not sure where you got it from, but it's going to expand. So they're going to have lot 1, lot 2, lot 3, lot 4. And then within those lots, you have a bunch of properties in there that's going to be up for grabs, right? So it's a matter of segregating them just so that they could be managed.
So I'm going to click into the practice. I feel like and this is the only thing. I do like how they open up a new tab, but then it's like a bunch of tabs. So hold on one second.
There's a lot of tabs for them.
Not good. I was like, okay, so because it's the same thing.
Right.
Oh,
Did
I
you
had
set up an
logged out.
account?
I did. Well, yeah. So let me see. I did. And then Miss Janice, well, you're in the live one. Maybe we can have you share yours, because you seem like you might be a little bit further along than me. But let me try first, and then we'll see what it's like.
Share,
Maria, how you doing? And Jeanette, how you doing? You following along?
Yeah, Jasmine, I sent you my spreadsheet to your email.
Oh, okay. I'll which Jasmine at Flip These Bricks?
Yeah.
Or, Okay, perfect. Okay. Hold on, let me see my bidder number. But while I'm trying to pull this up, do you guys have any questions? How are we feeling? Let's do a check-in.
No, it's flowing.
Maria,
It's
Janine, how
I'm
are you
taking
guys
Maria, you
feeling?
good?
notes.
You're muted.
I mean, I'm taking it all in and I'm taking notes, but I really don't know until I actually apply it and put it to practice.
All right. Well, hopefully you all will
Yeah,
play around on this site now that we've kind of determined, that
this will
it's a
be the
little
site.
user friendly. So now
Yeah.
I'm this is the practice portal. As you can see, I did it in my business name. I used my business EIN. And
I did
then
that too.
Yep, I put my address in. Now, this is where I had questions, Anthony, about like the maximum bid amount limit and the maximum award amount limit. This looked like this was money, not percentage. So do we know what that
So,
is?
so like for instance, let me start with the max amount. So for instance, you have a lot of money in the account. You're going to set a limit to say that after you reach a certain amount, you're no longer going to bid anymore, right? Remember, some people are going to dump a bigger deposit, right? They're going to dump 10%, even though they're going to do 10%. Like for instance, the person who's doing, 10 grand or 20 grand, he's going to put a bigger deposit, but he's also saying that he doesn't want to exhaust. He's going to say, so even though he had 20 in mind, he's going to say, you know what, after 15, I'm going to stop. I think I win enough. He only put enough in the account so that he could get more just in case he wanted to, but he's going to set a limit saying, after 15 grand, I'm done. I've tapped out, right? So that's the maximum amount limit, right? So his bid not going to go through anymore because he already tapped out at 15K, right? The maximum bid amount limit now would say that on any property that he's going to, because remember, you could do proxy bid, right? So what he's saying now that any bid amount limit, he's not going to bid on anything that has a tax bill of $5,000. That's what his bid amount is going to be. So he's
Okay.
limiting himself, even though he's in the game. He's trying to have a cutoff point for how much he's going to bid for the actual property itself and for the total amount that he's going to win. So the first one that says maximum bid amount limit, he's going to say, you know what, he's going to bid on all these properties that he's going to click on. But if the tax bill is 10 grand, he's not going to pay that one. He doesn't want it, right? He's going to tap out at a $2,500 bill or something like that. Same thing for the maximum amount. After all his winning bid total up, he's gonna, I'm tapping out at 15K. I don't want to, or again, I always remember these are for these tools are really for the institutional investors who are doing millions of dollars. So they're gonna tap out. So you know what? After winning $1 million worth of tax bill, I'm tapping out, right? So it's really for the high end guys who are doing just buying and buying at zero, right? Because you have guys who buy this thing at zero because they're not interested in the return. They're just trying to get the property later, right? So that's why those two tools are mainly for those guys. They're really not for guys who are just spending 10 grand, 5 grand, 15 grand. Guys spending $1 million or $2 million in bidding. It's really for them. But does that answer your question though?
Yeah, because I think they make you put it in here for some reason for like I don't know, but I was reading
Yeah,
something. They were like,
across the board it does. You could use it, but it really doesn't have any value to us. You know what I mean?
so it's
Because
gonna be my maximum award amount. Let's say I'm budgeting 1,000, so I would put in $1,000 maximum award amount. And then if I only wanted to bid on properties that was like 150, I would put $150 in the maximum bid amount. Correct?
correct. Because not all the time, because you see, right now we're starting off and you're kind of focusing on the smaller hanging fruits like, $80 bill, $100 tax bill. But when you start doing it more and more, you're just going to focus on the property now and not on the tax bill, right? Because the money is not the issue anymore. So you see, the mindset is going to shift later. So now the mindset is, I have $1,000, so I'm staying within that range. So I'm going to bid on properties that are the tax bill is $80, $90, $100, right? So so it doesn't affect you now. But later on, when you're just bidding on the asset itself, like the property itself, you don't care what the bill is, the tax bill is, because you're just going after the property, right? And so that's when these checks and balance comes in better for in terms of limits and maximum limits.
Maximum. Okay. I don't know. So anything else in here? So I haven't,
Go
just gonna,
go back. You just went, go back to that just please. You just had to.
oh, this was the update,
Uh,
the bidder
right,
information.
so there's a page that I wanted to see. You could pull it down. Let me see. Up no step, stay where you are. Bidding and sale. Go to the bidding and sale file viewing.
Hmm.
So pre-award viewing. All right, so pre-award viewing and bidding.
Okay, click on it.
Yep.
Okay.
Dummy
Oh,
side.
here goes the
Now
lot.
you see. So now you see the lots, right? Lot one, and just for fun, you could see if you open up.
Scared.
If you open up lot one, it's thousands of property in there, right? And when the real side, let me go to the bottom. Go to the bottom
Oh,
for a second. Now
okay,
stay
hold
where you
on.
are.
Okay,
But let me show you those why it's crazy now. Go back. I think you could go back.
back. Okay, go back
Yeah,
here.
the one. Yeah, stay right here. Right, go ahead.
Okay.
So scroll down to the bottom of the page. Right. So even though this is a test site,
Mhm.
this is nothing compared to the. So this is like 10% of what the real one would have. So you see, this is saying $538,000,
Yeah,
and right in just one batch, right?
right.
And so when the real side comes up, this will probably change to 5 million. And then so by lot one will have 5 million, lot two will have 5 million or 8 million, depends on the neighborhood that you're bidding on. Lot three might have 10 million because you're talking high-end homes, right? So the point is, a lot of people are not paying their taxes, and the properties that are coming up for tax liens are a lot, right? So you go to lot two, lot two, they didn't show
They
much
don't have.
value there. Yeah, it's a dummy side, so they're not showing really much data. But the point is, when you go to the real side, you're going to see all these lot number as a big dollar value, and it's going to show you in the millions how many properties are being up for tax liens and the dollar value behind it, right? The dollar. So that's going to blow your mind when you see that. Because
Yeah, okay, so it looks like they only did it for lot one, but do you
yeah,
guys see that?
it's a test site. It's a test site, right? So it's
So
fine.
yes, so this is lot one and it shows like the advertised, it says how many items, how many available, and then the assess amount. And then as you go down, you can see where it changes. So it says lot number two right here, and it'll repeat that same information. They just don't have it in the dummy. So
Right.
you can then determine like what the values are of each lot based upon those numbers. Okay, making
Right.
sense.
So, and
I'm
then
gonna,
what one extra step you want to do now is just go into the first one, like a first lot, and
okay,
kind of see the properties that are in there. Copy the parcel number, put it in the property appraiser website and just see what's around the neighborhood. If you're looking, it's like, wow, these homes have swimming pool, the 1 acre sites, you might want to stay in that lot, right? If you go to another go into another batch or lot, so to speak, and you pull up the parcel number and you do a quick search on that one particular property, and you see that it's predominantly mobile home lots, you might want to say, okay, yeah, they might get their money back, but the return is going to be small, or you might don't want to play in that neighborhood anyway, right? So you have the choice to go by the batches to see where lucrative stuff are, right? And of course, the higher end home is going to have a bigger tax bill to pay off. I'm sure that's going to limit how much property you can pay off, right? Because you're talking, some could be 13,000, some could be 2,000, some could be 5,000. But so you got to play around and see which bat's going to fit your budget as well, right?
right. So this
So
is
it's
like
a little
going to
cat and mouse
be
game.
the parcel number. This is the year of the tax, and this is what's owed.
Correct.
Right.
And
Right. So
then,
when you're doing the bidding, you're gonna hover over the zero again for just a second. So that's how you're gonna bid.
oh,
You're gonna click on the number. So it goes in 25 quarter increments. So you see it go from 0 to 18. So you're gonna
yeah,
run your mouse over the number that you want to say 12.5, And sometimes they do some crazy number. Don't stick with round numbers. Go 12.25. You just might outbid somebody. 12.5, right?
right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then, so when you hit this view, does this take you to like see the
Get to see
property?
the property. Exactly. You get to
Oh,
see
and
the track
it's,
record now. So you show the track record of the person now, right? So now
okay,
you get to see a track record. And you can say, oh, wow, this one's a good guy. You know what? This guy is going to pay me back in 2 months. So you know what? Let me go a little bit higher or lower. Or let me actually bid on this one because this guy has a pattern now of,
Yeah, he
Not
has a
paying
Yes,
his
he
pattern.
does.
bills with
So he
email.
definitely has a pattern. And you
Exactly.
see, he was like, the certificate was sold June of 2023, then he paid it in February. So that wasn't very long to get your money back. And then
Exactly.
we could also see what the certificate
Get
amount
paid
was. Let's see how much he got paid. I mean, in interest,
5%. Right.
5%.
5%,
Yeah,
Right.
5%.
$57.10.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
And
if you
so,
think
still better
about
than
it,
the bank.
yeah, it is better than the
I
bank.
can give you nothing.
And if you stack them, so just think if you had like 10 of these, that would be $570. And if you could look at the timeline and say, oh, I can get 10 of these back in 6 months,
Or
then
less. Right.
or less, depending
Right.
on their habit. You see, so that's why it's important to like track the habit.
Right. So
Okay, it's starting to come together.
some people pay their tax bill from their tax return, right? And so February is a good month. A lot of people pay the taxes in February and March, right?
Okay.
April, so they don't have the money to pay the tax bill in this tax year, but when they get paid next year, they pay it, right? So you can see that pattern as well. But it's a good pattern to track. And then so there's two sides to track some of this. Again, without going too technical, you got to get analytical in terms of how you look, what you're reading this data, right? Remember, raw data can be interpreted many different ways, right? So here we're interpreting it one way, saying they have a pattern of not paying, but you might look at another one that they might be under the same owner for 25 years, 30 years, and then all of a sudden they had that one miss. So now to me, that's a red flag saying, wow, this person probably owned this property for 25 years. They were probably 30, 40 when they had this. So now they're in their 60s. Something happened in the family, right? They got divorced, they got sick, they probably died, whatever, God forbid, right? So now you see a different pattern because it's a one-off pattern. And a one-off pattern now can be the one that I go low on to win it because now it seems like this property is up for grabs, because especially when they own the property for 30 years, means that it's probably free and clear, right? And so there's many different ways to read the data. So when you read the data, always remember, am I going for the return on investment quickly, or am I going for the property, right? And sometimes you make that decision on the fly based on what you're seeing. If the data is the numbers are telling you something, follow your instincts and say, you know what, wow, this person always paid a bill for the last 40 years, and then what happened? They either property got inherited by the kid and the kid doesn't care, right? Because they say like, I'm going to live in California, I'm not going to live in Florida, blah, 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 right? There's a pattern. So you always want to see what the pattern is telling you, right? But to continue, you bid, and make sure you check the mark, because if you don't check the mark, it means that you're not bidding on it, right? So after all this hard work, if you don't check that box, you're going to go through the list and thought that you put in the bid and it never goes in. And of course, I think at the end, once you get off the page, make sure it's recorded. And I think when you go to the next page, it's going to show you all the ones that you did, right? So you can see that you actually selected those, right? So it gives you a tally, right? You get a tally. You bid on 5 properties. Your budget was X. You deposited X, and then it's a matter of waiting, running the clock out, right? So always double check that before you leave the page, because otherwise all that effort goes in vain if you don't actually see your tally.
Yeah.
It's like a checkout card, right? Just like when you do shopping online, your checkout card. Make sure your checkout card has numbers in there. So this shouldn't be 0. Right?
Yeah, I was wondering, maybe because it's practice, because I did click on 2. Let me go back and see. Let me go back.
What shouldn't be 0?
My tally shouldn't be 0 because I've clicked on 2 properties and put my bids in. Sorry.
You can click on any 2, it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, let me try
practice,
again.
right? This is practice, right?
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna say 6.25. I'm gonna click on this one. I'm gonna say big bucks 18. I'm gonna say this one, and I'm gonna say 18 again because it's low. Okay, now I went to the bottom. Do you hit post? Oh, post bids.
Yep.
I didn't click that.
All right, let's see.
Okay, now let's see. Let me go next.
Bidder agreement.
Okay. So I haven't submitted my binder.
I have signed a bidder. Yeah, your bidder agreement needs to be signed, right? Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, they said. So
all
that's
that you want to get that out of the way early in the process, right?
Yeah.
If you and the good thing about it, this number sticks with you. This bidder number sticks with you forever, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So It does. So let me ask one more question because I was a little, Miss Janice she was brave. She just completed her
I
binder
just
thing,
did
but
Yeah.
it. What can
I
Oh
happen?
didn't.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
I was like,
in jail.
Oh yeah.
I have a
Let's
lot
get
of
it
books
done.
to read in the book club.
I was like,
Get
I
it
was
done.
I was a little nervous. I was like, wait a minute. I don't know
Well,
what,
what the hell?
me and tax people, I got a little scarred. I got PTSD.
Yeah,
Um,
I know.
so I was trying to look for that. So did you just click on everything? Is that like can you agree or not to agree? Let me see if I can find it. I'm sorry.
No, you have to agree.
Yeah, you got to agree.
You have to agree to play
Participating
you
bitter
got to go to a
agreement.
party, you gotta agree, right? You gotta agree.
Everything
Yeah.
is agree, huh? Like,
You gotta agree.
okay. So I guess I could just,
Maria, how you doing? Janet, how you doing?
I'm
Following
okay.
along?
It's
I'm
coming
following.
together.
I'm following.
you
But
guys,
like
Me
Steph
too.
said, I think once you like this practice, I think I'm gonna go into the practice site into that after now we've had this discussion. But
Yep.
I think once you apply it, stay low, took some of these notes. I think we got to jump in the ocean
yeah, I'm gonna
um, and
leave.
just give it a whirl.
I can't seem to find it, but I'll just go and I'll just agree. I'll just agree. I'll just sign my
Yeah.
life.
Don't be
I'll agree.
disobedient. You have to agree.
I was like, I want to
You
agree.
want that return on
No,
your money, you gotta agree.
I don't want to. Okay, so once I do that, then I should be able to, um, we should be able to move forward. So that was like some of the steps that they were saying that you needed to make sure that you had completed. And then I guess you also need to set up your bank account. Is that where you were, Miss Janice, was setting up your deposits or something of that sort?
Yeah, I was wondering how you do that. How do I fund it? So I take my money from Bank of America and put it in there
They
into this
do, you can do
funding?
ACH and wire transfer.
Okay,
Always
ACH.
start with ACH though, because that's cheaper and free. And if they because I know they kind of got funny with ACH recently, most states. So if they're forcing it to the wire, if you're local, you could always walk into the location and do it. But if you're not local, then do the ACH. If they stop taking ACH, then you do the wire.
What's
You can
ACH?
get it too, but you might not have enough time, so you got to be careful.
That's like the automatic deposit, like withdrawal or like, it's
The
called
ACH is
automatic.
like bank to bank. You put
Yeah.
in your route
Okay, yeah,
number,
okay,
and then it just automatically pulls it in, and it doesn't charge you, cost
got
you,
it.
because it's like American Clearinghouse. I think that's what it
Yeah, I
stands
think
for.
that's, mhm.
Got it.
It's like a free transaction. So don't pay for that if you don't have to, because that's just
No.
another $35 or $15 the bank is going to hit you. That takes away your profit too. So,
Yeah.
all right. So there's a couple. Let me see what I have. All right. So let me stay on that for a second. Let me know see if there's anything else I need to.
So I
Make
guess
sure.
now what we can do is maybe start looking. Let me see if I can pull up your list, Janae, and then we can start. If you guys have some properties that you want us to look at, you can type them in the chat. Type the address in the chat, and then we can do maybe like 2 or 3. And then we can kind of do some research and look at them so we could kind of determine what we're supposed to look for. And then let me see. What did I come on here for?
You need to get some properties.
Oh, yeah, go to
Go
my
back to.
so we're gonna go back to, I know we're gonna go to the property appraiser. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second because I'm gonna pull up my email so I could get those addresses. I gotta go to a different email.
All right.
Yeah.
Anybody got questions on Maryland, on DC, or Mississippi in the meantime?
Ooh, oh wow, Janae, you have a lot. Like, okay.
So but what I will say is I misunderstood the instructions because I know that those counties were listed, but up under those listings, it said to start with your local county, I think.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
fine.
why I only did Prince George's county. And like you said, Jasmine, it didn't populate in a spreadsheet. It was a PDF, but I was able to convert it into a spreadsheet.
Yeah, I was gonna say your list. Hold on, I want to share this because your list is all organized. I was like, okay, hold on, let me share so we can all kind of
So
So
Jeanette,
this is-
did you register to or no?
No, because on Prince George's there is no practice. I guess, like trial account. So I have to pay the 150 and then I have to start with the 1,000 in escrow.
Right. And I
Oh,
think
Oh,
you
you're
then
guys
right.
start
I remember
later
seeing
too. I
that.
think you start in October. So I think you got, if I'm not mistaken, you have a little more time too.
No.
so Prince George's
Yes,
deadline
their
for
tax cycle is separate. I think the tax cycle is
It's
like
October 1st to September
October
30th.
1st. Right. September 30th is a deadline, right? And then it starts in October. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a little more time to dive in, which is good.
I didn't see that with Prince George. I saw that the tax sale ends on May 13th. They said May 13th tax sale, first batch will close at 10 a.m. Second batch
What's the date on that? What's the date? 2023 or 2024?
This is 2024 tax sale, important dates for Prince George County, Maryland. The final property list for the 2024 tax sale will be updated at 4:30 p.m. on Friday, May 10th. And then I got dates April 11th, April 12th, 19th, April 26th, then May 6th, May 10th, May 13th, and then assignment sales. Then December 14th, and then December 14th, 2025. Foreclosure or the right of redemption filings may occur after this date on a principal residence. That's May 14th, 2025. I don't see October, but again, I will go back and look, but it looks like this. It kind of looked like a sheet like Florida's was. So
Let me double check something.
I don't see what the October dates you guys are talking about. And the spreadsheet for Prince looks something like this. Like, I don't know, I can't share it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I have like a little spreadsheet. Let me see what
It's
it is.
like a Excel spreadsheet, and the topping, the headings is the owner, the street address, the city, zip code, footage, the footage, how much square footage, the description, assessed, and then the taxes owed. That's the columns. And I just did one sheet to play around. There was a lot. And then I had another sheet that said land book. I don't know what that is. County of Prince George 2024 land book. Taxable properties.
So I've
So
seen,
my head was spinning just a tad. So then I ran back over to Florida.
so I see here, this says tax bill calendar.
Yeah.
So it says full tax payment due September 30th.
Okay, so now that's a totally different thing. I got 2024 tax sales, important dates, Prince George's County, Maryland, important dates. So I'll
And
put
then
this aside.
November second tax bill sent to delinquent and semi-annual property owners.
Okay.
December final delinquent sent March. Red ink. April delinquent tax listing advertised in local papers and online at taxsale.princegeorgecountymaryland.gov. And then April, it says tax sale registration begins. May, public auction of tax lien certificates, second Monday. And then this says June is closed. It closes June 30th.
Okay. That gives more time.
A little.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah, because I remember I
That's good.
saved that page too. I'm going back to it now.
That's good. That's good. So I'll have to look again and see what page you're talking about.
Yeah. I'll see if I can send this link. I'll copy it and share it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I remember. The last days of September 30th, and then the first week of October. I'm not sure if it's the first day, but that first week, that's when everything is up for grabs. Right? So
Okay.
Yes, I also sent you my spreadsheet as well.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
let's look at a few properties.
Because we can
go.
still research, right? We could go on the Prince George property appraiser or, right? We can still
Yep,
look
yep,
at
yep.
properties. Looking them on Zillow. Okay, so yeah. What are the suggested sites to do your research?
Again, stay with the property appraisal office,
Right.
because they're very interactive. Try to get to a map so you can see a visual of what it looks like, from above, right? If it's in a flood zone or whatever. And then normally, let me see if I can do that and let me share that screen.
I wonder if I could copy paste an address. I'm just gonna try, or I'll write one down just so we could look
Yeah.
at a
So
couple
yeah,
of
so definitely start with the property appraisal office. Try to get to a map so you can see what it looks like. You could at least see if there's streets. You want to make sure that it's not in the flood zone. You want to make sure that it's, it has, regular shape property, or if it has a house in it, you want to kind of see those things so you know that you're not buying, wetland, so to speak, right?
Right.
Most of the time, the property appraiser website has a bunch of tools that you could turn on. So if you go to maybe the upper right or the upper left, there's some tools that you could turn on, like for instance, aerial map, or you could turn on, flood map or street map, so there's different views that you can get, and just use those views to toddle in between so you can kind of just get your eyes on the property. Say, okay, this is not in the boonies, or this is not wetland, or this is not, right next to a highway, whatever. So you kind of just get a good sense that, okay, worst comes to worst, I don't get my money back the first couple of months, and I get this property, is property worth keeping, right? So you want to kind of make sure you do that. So Google Map as best as you can if you have a physical address, but be mindful when it's a vacant lots, not every state has their property with an address. If it's a vacant lot, most of the time you don't have an address with it. Some states are different. Florida, you don't have an address. I mean, some part of Florida, you don't have address until you start pulling permit to start building, right? Some state does the same thing. So just be mindful that if you only have the parcel number, you want to either pull up the map so you can get a cross street, right? To kind of get the bearings right. Because you want to kind of know where this is. This in, in a neighborhood that's going to be developed 10 years from now or 20 years from now or never. Is it next to a cemetery? So all these little things you want to know going in. And that's not a critical in a sense where if you get any money back, it doesn't matter, all of that goes away. But just in case you don't get your money back, then you know that that property is worth pursuing, right?
Right. When you say you would not get your money back, that's like, how would that's like if they don't pay back, how would
But
you
they
not?
don't pay you back within that 2-year window, and now you have to do the court process, which is going for the deed itself now. You see, you're shifting from a lien to a deed, if it's a deed state you're working in, right? So, but you're always going to get your money back. You just said it comes back to you naturally, or you got to put in another layer of work by going to court and then forcing them to pay you back via the auction house, right? So that's but your money coming back to you. So don't worry about the money coming back. It's coming back, just another step to get it back, right? Because you have 2 years to redeem that certificate, right?
So I just pulled this property. I just pulled a random one, 18501 Dyson Lane. And this
so
is
that's fine. Zoom in if you can. It should be able to zoom in a little bit closer.
okay.
With the mouse, or screen, your wheel, if you have a wheel on your thing.
Oh, now you're getting fancy. Hold on. I gotta my laptop mouse is not friendly. I'm gonna see if I could just increase.
You could pan around as well. Yeah.
Let's see. How about this? Ooh, that's too big.
Oh yeah.
Okay, how's that?
Me in the woods.
Is that really?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Right. So now you see it's based on where the pin is dropped.
Yeah.
Unless that property is the entire from the street to the back is yours, you don't really know. So you need to kind of just read the description a little bit to see is this a 5-acre property, or is it why is the pin at the dead center? I mean, maybe the pin is just for location purposes, but you want to kind of see what the property is. Is it a 1/4 acre? Is it 1 acre? Is it 10 acres? Maybe you want to go Zillow. If it has an address, use Zillow just to give you a quick, cheat sheet, so to speak.
Let's see, this is
right. So
let's do satellite. Oh, that's map. Yeah, I'm not really good at this part. Sorry, guys. But
that's fine.
Oh, I wanted to go back because it tells you, hold on, it tells you which, it told you information about the property. But where did that, oh, it was a spreadsheet. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay, here. So it tells you it's 3.29 acres.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's why. Okay, that's why the pin dropped in the middle. Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's assessed at 127.8.
Okay,
The taxes
it's
is
a good, it's a good price.
89,000.
It's a good price.
Oh, the past due taxes is 89,000. That's the one I picked. Oh,
Scroll. It's not scroll. No, scroll to the left for a second.
let me see. I'm trying to.
Scroll.
Hold
Scroll
on.
to your right. Sorry.
Yeah. My
Yeah,
scroll
move
bars.
over.
Hold on, let me reduce.
This looks like it's actually. Let me see before.
See, does that help?
Yeah, let me see what it says.
No, that's the end of the
Oh no,
spreadsheet.
that's the prop. No, that's the zoom in again. It's 80. It said
Okay.
89.
Yeah,
Three
that's what I'm
acres.
in. 89.
Oh, okay. No. That's what. No, that's what. No. So let me explain that. So the 89 is the tax assessor value of the property,
Oh,
right?
Oh, okay.
we thought that's how much they owed.
No, that's a lot of money. 127. Hold on, let me go back one second. That's the description. 127 is, let me see, access.
Yeah, this
No,
is
it can't be so taxes. That's a lot of back taxes then.
Yeah.
And the value is not there. So let me see that again. That's 65. And it's a quarter acre. What's this?
There's
3
two
acres.
lots there, Anthony.
it's-
Look at 185.01 and 185.05. So
oh
that's
yeah.
about
So it's the
5
same
acres.
parcel.
They look
So
like they're
5
next to each
acres.
other.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Maryland.
something is not right though. But something is not right. This is Maryland, right? Maryland is a
So
tax.
do you want to write down the information? Maybe
Yeah.
we could go to the property tax. Let's see, let's go to property appraiser. Is that where I should go?
Yeah.
Maryland.
And you could put in the parcel number.
Okay.
If something doesn't look right, because I don't see
Um,
them having so much delinquent tax with so high a value.
Yeah.
What
So
county?
that's
No,
also
what
Mhm.
county
Prince
was this?
Prince George's, but that's also the assignment list. So I don't know if that's the right list. I don't know.
Oh, it's assignment. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's follow through with it and go to the property appraiser website. Let's plug in that parcel number
Okay.
and then get the real data from it. And it'll make sense to us.
Okay. Let me reduce just a little bit so I can kind of, so we're gonna go to, oh, assessments. Let's go here.
You got the
Yeah,
parcel
yeah,
number?
I'll go back to it. So I go to residents. Is that where I do?
go residence.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then, I'm looking.
Property.
Park and motor, Merge County Youth, Public, Community
With
Board.
property maintenance, let me see for a second. Let me see what this is. So options you have.
This is what we were saying about having to dig, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Not making it easy. Code enforcement, inspection,
Mhm.
permit plan
That's
review.
not it. I think I know that's the website look for me. That was on it the other day.
Do you want to take over? I'll just keep digging. You keep digging, and if you find it, then, you
That's
know.
Prince George, right? That's Prince George, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. Government.
Let me get in. Let me get in, and then I'll pull up my screen for a second. Residential property. Not friendly site. Not a friendly site. Not that friendly, huh?
How do I? Maybe let's do how do I? Oh, maybe I could search it. Property search. Is that what we're doing? Property search.
Taxes.
Then do I go to property tax?
Tax portal.
Mm. Mm-mm.
No, no, that's gonna take you to pay your taxes.
Mm-mm.
Wow, this is not a friendly site.
Nope.
You type in tax liens and
Yeah, let me do that. Property.
Oh my God, service.
yeah, tax lien. Tax sale.
Is tax sale. Tax sale, here we go. I don't think this is it, but we'll just click here and see what it says.
Go up.
Oh, tax sale website. Here we go. Tax
Yeah, that's
sale
right. I was on
website.
there. I was on that one.
Yeah. Okay. This looks like we're
Got it?
kind of coming up.
In?
Mhm.
Not as friendly as I thought.
2024 is not on there. They only
Well,
have
it's
2023 assignment lists, but not
but
anything about 2024.
2023 is the tax year that we're dealing with though. So this
Yeah,
is
that's the
back, this
copy
is
I
the
made.
list. This is the same list.
Okay.
But it's still, we want to try to find this property. So this is the parcel number. So I'm gonna copy. Then we're gonna go back here and we're gonna do property search. So as we can see, this does require a little bit of work. It's not just like, oh,
Yep.
there is some research. There is some kind of dedication to it. So let's see, property search is what I want.
Okay, I think I'm on a website now.
Got it?
You
I'm
have
just-
do you have the
The
parcel
parcel
number?
number? Yeah, I can give it
This
to
is
you.
Prince
I'm gonna
George, right?
s-
One second.
Yeah,
Prince
let me give
George
you the
County.
parcel number and then I'll stop sharing. 031 031 0631.
Is it says identifier number? That's what it is? 031
0631.
0631. That's it?
Yeah, parcel ID. Do you need the DS in front of it? 05?
No, I'm gonna search a different way. You have the street address or no? Is the street address?
18501 Dyson's Lane, Dysons Lane. I don't know how to say city.
Oh, Prince George, right? No, this website is not that friendly.
No.
Mhm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Street. I start with the street number.
1805. I'm sorry, 18501
851. And the street is
Dyson's Dysons
Lane Street Avenue.
Lane
Lane
Lane.
Lane Place.
No, just Lane. Just Lane.
Oh. Search. Okay, next. That is crazy. Record match. Prince George County. Dysons, right?
Dysons, correct.
Lane Street number 18501.
Mhm.
Wow, this website is coming up blank.
I know so maybe you have to go to the tax collector to let me try that because
On the Department of Assessment and Taxation in Maryland, but it is a dash and any dash between the 18501 or it's just straight 18501.
this
Street
18501.
number is not required. Oh, the street number is not required. Okay, right. Do not enter street name, surfaces, avenue. Do not enter lane. Keep going. Do not enter street name, surfaces, avenue, etc. Next.
Once you have located the desired parcel or account, please visit. Maybe this is taxinquiry.gov. Let me try this.
Real property.
Go. Let's see what this does. Oh, are they gonna charge? Are they trying to charge me? I'm like, well, hold on. I should let you guys see this process too. I'm gonna share my screen because this is
Not a friendly site.
no, not at all.
See?
Yeah, I was like, I
The
want to
difference
go back.
between that in Florida?
I want to go back to Florida. I was like, take me back to Florida. Hold on, I'm going to show you guys what I'm trying to accomplish. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I'm like, let's see. So this is where I'm at. But you shouldn't have to do this to find out information about a property, but maybe you do because it says right here, um, property tax
It's
inquiry and bill
unwritten.
statement. And then it says here, it's $1.50.
Mm-mm.
No, this
Mm-mm.
must be to pay or has to be.
No, you
Yeah,
could view.
it's
I
not
think you
to
should be able
look.
to view, and then you
Yeah.
stop. If it's you the owner, then you could pay.
Yeah, this has to be to pay. This can't be to just find some information about them. Let me try. I don't know. I'm gonna go to the tax collector. Prince George. Well, I know I won't be county.
Well, so you said you were navigating Anthony, Virginia, starting to look at in Virginia. Are you finding those sites friendly for you to obtain information?
It was a little better than Maryland for sure. They they have they have registration with some third party sites that you have to register with, but at least they have to approve you. So it's a little bit better. But they're heavily on the lien side, the tax deed side. Sorry, they're heavily on the tax deed side. You actually can pick up the property. So let me
Okay.
try
How can
help
you
Miss
just?
Georgia. Yeah,
This
let
is
me
kind
try.
of
Let me
making
keep.
me mad. I'm like, how can you just can't look up a property? Like, where is the property search button?
All right, let me keep going on this too. Local assessment office here. Website.
Assessments,
Business
maybe?
entities, Maryland business and personal property, filing extension, property owners. Okay, read property data search. Okay, wow. Select the content which you want to search. Prince George. No, it's not friendly. Prince
No.
George County. Select the search method to proceed. Street address, property account identifier, map and parcel. Did he give me a parcel number before?
Yeah,
Jasmine?
it's 031.
1 second. Oh wow. 031.
0631.
So that's 7 digits.
Yes. 0310631.
And then these 4 burgers.
This is horrible.
This is not friendly. No, they're asking for a map. Do you have a map number? They're asking me for a map and a town code.
I didn't even get this far.
No,
you didn't make it this far?
No.
If you give me a map number and a town code number, is that on the list?
No.
No
town
map
DS?
number.
No.
Yes, parcel
This is
number.
crazy.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
no,
I
this
think we should just head back to the Sunshine State.
wow, that's crazy.
Uh,
Town code. So
this is
Prince
a good.
George is wow, that's not good. They have over wow, this is complicated.
yes.
074. So you got a town code. Let's try that.
I'm just like, how do I go and find info? I feel like this is supposed to be public record. This is not public record. This is not feeling
Oh,
public-y.
these are the tax rates.
Yeah, I just thought I could go and put my address somewhere and find out like,
Mm-hmm.
my tax information. I didn't know that I had to like,
Yeah, this is crazy. They're asking you for map, parcel, town code, and and all the data is not in one place.
No.
Yeah.
Enter 4-digit character for the map.
Maybe that's the goal, to frustrate you so that you don't
do it.
Yeah.
But
I
I
like
mean,
a challenge.
Mm.
I'm gonna buy. I probably need to get bidding. So we have October, right? I think we have time. We have time. All right, so that's fine. So let's go back to
around.
Florida for a second. We have time for October. I'm going to personally look into Maryland a little bit more because I know
Okay.
there are some nice homes over there, so I don't mind investing in Maryland. So
Yeah.
but it's definitely not friendly.
So we have one more. We could try, let's try Mississippi. And that means we would have tried one in every state. So we would have tried Maryland, we would have Florida. And so Maria gave us a Mississippi address. So this is Hinds County, is that correct? I'm gonna write it down. 31 Adele.
Yes, Hinds County.
Okay. I learned that it wasn't, it's Hind, as I was saying Hines like Hines. So I was like, oh, okay. I learned. You gonna learn today. Okay. So let me go back to sharing the screen. Let's see. All right, Marilyn. You have not won. You just
Actually, Hinds County is nicer website.
yeah.
Yeah.
County property appraiser. All right, let's see. Hinds County tax assessor. That's okay. This looks like this is right.
Like, you want me to share a screen then?
Oh yeah. Please do.
Let me share a screen. I like Hinds County.
Okay, nice. Except for the overbidding part.
All right.
See my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so that's the
Oh, yeah, this is
Hinds County, right? And they have everything, centralized, which is good, right? Different departments. So I'm going to go to real property. It's always going to be real property that you're trying to find. And then just need to put in a name or a street. And this is easy. So
yeah, okay, so we have the street. We have 131.
131.
Adele.
Adele Street.
So just the street name there, not the number. Just the street name. Adele.
Adele Street.
Adele Street.
2L? Adele, E-L-E?
2 L's.
Adelle.
Yep.
Street. And then the number is 131.
Yep.
So let's go for a search. Okay. Is there a north or south or anything?
We didn't have that.
No north, no south.
No.
Maybe just put Adele Street and let's just see without the street number, see what comes up. Nothing.
Let's search. You have a name? Do we have a name? Last name and a first name?
Shalonda, CHALONDA.
I'm an old guy, go slow. CHA.
LONDA.
LONDA.
Simpson.
That's what I was telling you. I was like, I was having more luck looking up the owners' names and then.
Simpson is the first name or last name? Sorry.
Simpson is the last name.
Last name.
I said it backwards. Sorry, it said backwards. So I got to put it first. Okay, here we go.
There we go.
So,
that's what I was saying.
All right, so let's go with the first one. Let's see what we have.
Then it was 131.
Why is it 000? I don't like that. All right, so 2022 is paid, 21 is paid, less 23 is not paid. So let's see what's going on with that one. So they live in the lower local, right? So that's good. True value 26. The amount due is, so this looks like a vacant lot based on the value. Excuse me.
Based on the value.
Yeah, so $76.51, right? So the assessed value is $2,600. Right.
4640.
So next month, I mean May, this month. So next week. Today. Oh. So this is what's due today, 76.51. So he comes to delinquent when?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay. So this no, the last Monday. He has up to the last Monday in August.
Okay.
So that's Mrs. Right. That's Hinds County. Right. So, all right. So that's not bad.
But I'm glad you said that because see, look, I looked it up on my phone. Oh wait, and it's showing a house.
It's showing a house on the property. So let's see what the map says. So maybe it's a mobile home. So that's why you see now I'm getting everything from this one website. So that's why I like
to use Hinds County.
Property appraisal office.
Property appraiser.
Appraisal
Yeah.
office, okay.
Yeah, so they always, why I gotta accept this? Oh, come on.
Yep.
All
There
right,
you go.
so it's a
Just
long
accept
piece of
it. I'm
property.
just kidding.
Yeah, I did. So, all right, so this is good. So this is a good county. I like this county. It's interactive. So here's a parcel. It
Okay.
looks, it's just almost to the corner, so that's a good thing. So you don't have to worry about it not being accessible. So that's good if you're, pursuing the property. Let me put on some maps here. So this is what I was telling you, that there's some interactive tools that you could turn on and off. So I like to turn these on, right? I like to turn on roads, which is already on already. I like to turn on
Flood zone.
and then I stop for a second. I normally stop and see what I'm getting. Because you don't want to turn on everything all at once. So you kind of turn some on. It's okay. There's a road there. That's good. This is a flood zone. So looks like piece of it is in the flood zone. So that's not good.
Hold it. Flood
That
zone,
green,
identifying that all this blue.
right? That the cyan blue, not the regular blue, the cyan blue. This one.
Yes.
Oh,
This
okay.
greenish blue. This greenish
Yeah.
one. That's the one that is so almost. Let me move this out of the way. Should be able to move it. Oops, I didn't want to do that. So it seems like a portion of the property, in the back end of the property, these guys in the back on Barrett Street is in the flood zone. Right?
Okay.
There's some FEMA. So that's not a good thing, right? So you probably only could build in the front, or you have to build on stilt, right? So this is just a little bit more detailed, but let me go back, turn that off. And I like to turn on the images to see what's there. Oh, beautiful. Nice. Nice. So this is the one for second from the corner, third, this one, right?
I think it was the
Yeah,
second.
that one.
I think
Second one.
so
This
that one doesn't look
yeah.
like it has a house.
Mhm.
So maybe what I looked up is that house next to it.
This one.
Okay, so that's not bad. So it's some small homes. That's okay. Pretty developed, right? So that's not a bad thing, right? To get a lot of homes. So if you pick something up here, you pay the taxes, they didn't pay you back, you get a piece of property in a nice neighborhood or a decent neighborhood. That's not a bad thing, right? So,
But it's in a flood zone. Why would you want that?
no, I mean, except for the flood zone, right? But let me turn that on again just to make sure that I have that thing on flood zone. No matter of fact, let me be more specific. Oh, the blue AZ. So it's in a flood zone. This is what, Mississippi. Oh, so it is a
The
flood
darker
zone.
blue was more floody.
Yeah. Then the
Oh.
smaller one was the overlap, which is another bad one. So the
Dry.
X, you always want to have X. X is always your sweet spot. Right. So now we turn on the entire flood zone. So this is not good.
Well,
then,
actually, well, no, this was better than
Oh.
From that.
So the
yeah.
guys on the right are better off now. These guys are better.
Yeah.
They're out of the zone. These guys are, and it's
Floody.
not the end of the world. It just means that it has to be higher. It's not the end of the world. You still can get flood insurance. It just that means that you have to spend an extra couple $1,000s to raise the level of the floor, right? The foundation, the first floor. So it's not the end of the world, right? The only thing I would say that these guys in blues are okay, but this guy has a double overlay now, right? So these are a little bit more toxic, so to speak. These guys, they're in the flood zone. They're okay. Normally, if you see a lot of homes in the flood zone already, means that it's kind of okay. But for the new guy coming on the block, the rules might change for you. You might have to go a little bit higher than you guys. And see X is where you want to be. X is a sweet spot, right? So you want to be an X. Always remember that. X is where you want to be. These are not bad, but then, because if you're doing a new home, you have to be a little bit higher. The standards are a little bit higher for you, but it's not the end of the world. But always prefer to stay in the X zone. X is always good. Now you can notice what's happening over here. The schools, everything else is in the X zone. All these guys are in the X zone. So you want to stay on this track.
I'm wondering if all of this non-flood is in the white neighborhood and the floods zones are in the neighborhood of color.
You could tell. Let's see. Let's zoom in. I will tell. The homes are almost the same profile. The lots are the same size. Where's that divided line?
Click on it, see if you see somebody in the yard.
The highway. Let's see okay, it is, because look, the imaginary line now is the highway through the neighborhood, right? And if you look on this side now, the homes are a little bit posh, a little fancier now, right? See that?
All
It
right.
got a little mix, but it's not, it's a little bit better. These lots are a little bit bigger now. You see the lots are a little bit bigger. The homes are a little bit more fancier. Right. So you can see like this is a good side of the tracks. I could be wrong, but for the most part, just visually, this is a good side where you want to be. Let's see what's happening further away from the highway.
Maria
there seems to be a lot of smaller
put one
homes.
in.
Isn't that the one
again?
that's what
Maria
we're looking
put
at
one in.
now? Yeah, that's
Well, I
what we're
put
looking at.
another one in by the same lady. I don't know if it's in, I don't think it's.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
click back, Anthony, because the first one was her was Adele. We went to her. This is Norway. That's the first one.
Yeah,
Go back
that's
to her.
that's two different parts of the city.
Yeah.
So give me another one then, and I'll type the name in. Give me a name.
Well, it's the same lady, but I want to see the Adele one.
What's
Right.
what's her name again? Simpson.
Simpson.
Yes. Shalonda.
Shalonda Simpson. Yeah. CH.
Yeah,
There
there we
she
go.
goes. There she is.
It seems like she had more than one property.
She did,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we
So this
clicked
is the
on.
next one that she has over here.
Oh, is this okay?
So she has a house on this one. And she's right off the main street, like a main street here.
Okay,
Here's the
sounds good.
trains. Look like trains here.
Yeah, so you got a
that sounds
train
good.
not far from the train track. Train track
What's
is
that
still
address? Can we see what that address is? Like click on, I guess.
the address would be okay, let's see the size.
And then
You've got a lot of property.
mm-hmm.
Oh,
Shalonda,
wow.
she buying it up. We need to try to find her.
I do.
I don't know. I was just curious as to
This
the
is not even the one that I just listed. This is a different.
She has a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
she has
Let
a
me
lot.
She has
She had a
lot.
let me
couple
go
of
back
them.
for
She had
that.
at least 4 or 5.
She
That
got
went in
got
taxes.
another one here. The same one. Yes, this is another one. Let's see what this is. This is she got another. Ooh, all right. So here, this is good. This is perfect. This is perfect. What's wrong with this?
I don't know. I see like an easement or something. It's like a square within a square.
The L shape, the magenta,
L-shape. Yeah.
that magenta color, the L shape,
Yeah.
that's not good. So it means that the county is selling off something which is like an easement or in the right of way, right? That you can't build on, can't use, but they'll collect the tax money for it anyway, right? So that's why you gotta see the maps. You gotta see the map sometime before you put in the bid, because this is not a one to buy. Definitely not. Because this is the L shape here, right? You can see my mouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is in the public domain. I can't do anything with this. I can't put a house on this. I can't sell it to anybody else. This is a dud. This is a lemon.
So that's what she owns, or that's what the city owns?
If it's Shanda's own, that's what she owns.
I think is it not the square? Is it not the square next to it? Click on the I feel like it's the square next. No.
It's 0.31 acre.
Because that to me, see that point looks like it's on the one of this house that I don't know. Can my mouse work?
Let me do it.
It looks like it's on this. That's what I saw.
I think I missed it. No, but the orange, when it's like you click on a name now, this color is what show the property, right?
Right.
So
the turquoise. Yeah, you're right.
This is the highlighted line. So now she's back to the one that we started before.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. So that's a dot, right? So she's an investor or something, but she picked up a few lemon along the way, right? So just be mindful of that. Right. This is a lemon. I would move past this, run as fast as you can from away from this.
Okay.
Unless you own, say, for instance, the block over here, and then you have the right to give an easement, and you could, what I mean? But it gets complicated. Keep it simple, right? Don't, this is not good. You can't build on this one. Just by looking at the profile of the shape of the property, it's an L shape. It's in the bed of the street, in the right of way. And you can't do anything in the right of way. You can't own the street either, right? Unless it's a private street. So this is like a lemon. So I would run far away from this as possible.
So now
let's type in another name. I'm going to go with my name because Brown is popular. Let's see how much Brown we got. Michael, let's see what Michael has. Michael has a lemon again. See that? Michael has another lemon.
Yeah.
So it's a wedge piece of property. Let me put on the map. Map is on.
Yeah.
App is on and it's not showing anything. So
Mhm.
that's a wedge. So that's a dud.
Oh, there we go. We're just zoomed out.
Okay, man, why you can't move this? I should let you be
I
able to move
know.
it.
That's how I was like, maybe
Like most
you
of the counties
exit, just
you can move
exit, I
it.
You
guess.
exit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a wedge. So this has no
Oh,
value. The only guy benefit from this is the guy who owns this house. And he probably don't even care to buy it anyway. Because he's just gonna sit there forever. So if he owns this, yeah, he will benefit, or this guy will benefit from buying it. Most likely this guy on the gray house, the gray roof would be the best guy to buy it. But at least they're backed up to a golf course. That's good. So normally, so let me give you a tip now as an investor, because you all are investors, right? When I'm doing tax leads, and because I'm doing so much work to look at these properties, the moment I come to a nice neighborhood like this, I'm taking off my tax deed hat and putting on my investor hat. I'm going to try to grab or try to solicit all these properties around. I'm going to try to grab this guy. I'm going to try to grab this guy. I'm going to try to grab everything around that's vacant. I'm going to try to look on the houses beside it, right?
mm.
So I'm going to either call these owners or write them a letter, because I'm doing all this work already and I find a nice neighborhood in Mississippi now. I'm just going to try to go for broke now. So I'm going to solicit, do real estate and marketing, trying to get anything I could get over, because this is a nice neighborhood. I
So
like
now
this
all of
neighborhood.
these things squared off, Anthony, are for sale?
No,
Or
no,
is
no.
it
That
just
means that
lots?
everything square means are the lots. But
Lots,
because you
okay.
were looking at lots for the tax lien purposes, why not just put the land on, spend another hour and try to get all these property owner name and address or phone number and
So
try
can
to
you
buy it from them.
can you click on it and get some information about that person?
Unless I like this one next to this fancy house. Let me.
I do. Click. Okay,
Mhm.
let's see what it
See,
says.
I just don't like how it. So this one is. I don't
Yeah.
like how the data is displayed. Data is not displayed properly.
Yeah.
But the good thing is
Maybe
that
click
it's.
the arrow. Maybe click this arrow to go to this one
Look
here
at
because it says
look at
one of
that flood
3.
zone. It said X.
Okay, yeah, X. So the flood zone is good. So we're in a good neighborhood. That's good. X is good.
Yeah.
The
Click the
elevation is
arrow.
high. Okay, I see what it is. I know what some of the data means. Just that it's so scrambled. That's the only thing. It's a good neighborhood. It's Brookwood
Brookwood State.
Estate.
The States
It's
Drive.
right. It's half an acre. That's nice. Wow, half an acre. Right. Let's see what else they
The
can tell us
owner's
about.
name is it the owner up there, Maurice?
You might need
Or-
another tool for that, but the name, you can get the name at least. But if you need a phone number and
Yeah.
the mail address, if they don't live at the property, you might have to do a little bit more digging. But it's not a bad property, not a bad neighborhood. I like this neighborhood.
So this is the name, and you
And
can.
again, if you can pick up
Sorry.
this property right here, you can make a nice little subdivision for FTB, right? So,
Right?
Yeah, but there's
So
one right here.
when you find the name, like how we have the name, I was going to give you guys a resource. True People Search. You can put the name in, and it will help you find the person, help you find an email, phone number. You can verify it with the address. Since you have the address and the person's name, you can put the address in, and you can kind of cross-reference your information. True People Search. And it's pretty accurate. I've used it for tenants, like finding out information.
nice.
Search, verify address. You
It's a good
verify
tool.
address and what else?
You could get an email from their phone number, date of birth, true people
Wow.
search.
Is there
Free. It's a
cost to it?
free tool, or you got to
And it's
subscribe.
free. It's free.
Wow.
Wow.
So after all this work, we stumble on a nice neighborhood.
I
Yeah.
know.
So
Look at the
you know,
subdivision, Anthony, right there.
beautiful,
Right
beautiful,
there,
right?
right up,
This
right
one?
Yeah,
here.
this one.
No,
Yeah,
this
this
one,
is
this one.
nice.
Right next to it.
Yeah, all of these, you mean right here, this is all a subdivision look like. These all look like a housing division.
No, I
Yeah.
know, but further up where he
Oh,
first
go
circled
up.
Oh.
right there, right down,
Uh-huh.
over,
Yeah.
right here,
This?
here,
Left or right?
left,
Left by where my arrow is? Because this looks like a house.
go down. No, you missed it. Looks like a big, right here,
Yeah.
at the bottom
Click-
of the screen. Nope.
Click that. No?
All right, whatever.
I know, sorry, because I was like, where are you to this?
Right here.
Oh, right there, that space,
Here.
a subdivision.
Oh, you're saying
Which
you could
one?
build there.
Possible
That's what you're
Yes,
saying.
when he first said
Oh,
L-
yes.
FTV
Oh,
to
click
build
on it.
something there, click on that.
Yeah, she was like, click on it. Let's find the information for that.
All right, it's a good flood zone. It's almost
Oh.
it's 3 acres. Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Who's gonna buy this one?
Bounds. Miss
Rent.
Janice.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'll just
Hold
write a
on,
check
hold on.
tomorrow.
We're the Jeffersons now. We're moving on up. Come
I
on.
know, I know.
Yes.
Now this is nice neighborhood. I like this neighborhood. I'm probably have to come back here eventually. Not right this minute, but gotta come back here and see if we could pick up some properties.
So
Mary, you
Miss
know anything about
Janice,
this neighborhood?
What, I'm trying to see what area it's in.
Let me see if we can get a street. Let me get a highway that you could pick up from. Let me try to find a highway. Henderson. What is this?
while he's looking, Miss Janice, you find we got here by going to Hinds County Property Appraiser. So it's always going to be the county
Oh, let me turn on
property
the street.
appraiser
Okay.
or county tax collector.
Hines County Property Appraiser.
Yep.
Okay.
No streets. No streets around.
Subdivision, maybe click subdivision. That may help. No?
No, I was trying to get the streets here to give Maria. It's not reading now.
Would
It's
that be
loading slow.
.com or .gov?
Most of the time I think it's gov.
Gov, okay.
It's a nice neighborhood. Golf course.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
just
see the
trying
other
Mr.
to
side of the
Anthony, the
tracks?
developer.
I don't think it's in
Anthony.
Hinds County, but I just want to see if it's in Madison County. which is-
I think. Let me see. Let me pick on something there. Should be able to tell us. One of these guys should be able to tell us.
Brookwood Place doesn't tell me.
So it's Jackson. Is there a Jackson?
Okay, it's in
Mississippi.
Jackson
Jackson.
County? Or Jackson City or
No,
something?
Jackson is in Hinds County,
Yeah.
Jackson Hine County. Okay.
so it may be like in South Jackson.
South Jackson. It's a nice neighborhood.
I'm Brookwood, sounds like South Jackson.
Gloria and Willie Houston. I'm trying to get
Yeah.
a street though. If we go pick up a street, Brookville.
So I think it's Brookwood Place. That's the street
Yeah,
number.
Brookwood
It's
Place, right.
4833 Brookwood Place.
What's the area code?
Oh, the zip
I mean, the zip
code.
code. The zip code.
Scroll down again. Just giving us a zip code.
Gloria and Willie Jr. own it.
Hey, Willie.
Willie.
I'm in for you.
I don't see a zip code though.
Yeah. Oh, the best thing we could do then, let me find this. Let me use this guy then so we can go into the that's gotta do with Google stuff for this guy. Oh, this is an estate. Wow. See that?
Oh.
I mean owned by a trust. Sorry.
By a trust. They're smart with their monies.
What's the address? Do we have a house number? No house number?
105. 105, whatever that is.
Divini Court, CV.
Let me see. 105.
Oh, yeah, that's in South Jackson.
South Jackson?
Yes.
All right, so it's a good neighborhood?
It is a good neighborhood, yes.
All right, we're moving to
It's an
Jackson, moving to Mississippi.
older neighborhood.
We moving to Mississippi.
Huh?
I said we moving to Mississippi. Oh, Cove. So it's Byram, Byram, Mississippi.
Oh, huh?
Mississippi.
That's what I think I just pulled up. 105 Divini Cove. Is that what the address was? Was it Cove?
Cove,
Mississippi.
let me click on it again. Then I know, I think.
Byram.
Divini Cove, CV.
Yep,
Yeah.
Cove. It's in Byram, Byram.
Nice neighborhood.
No?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is it. Look at this. Look. Can you guys see it?
Oh, you want me to stop sharing?
No. This is just my mobile phone, but this is the house.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, this is a nice neighborhood though.
Yeah.
A lot of vacant lots. We could pick up
I
a few
was
lots
like,
over here.
I think I think we got a new Mississippi investor.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so this was great.
All right, cool.
I
All
think
right, so that's why I mentioned that the property appraiser website will give you this is what we call GIS map, right? It's an interactive map, so you can turn on and off stuff, flood zone, streets, different things you could turn on and off. So that's why it's always good to start with the property appraiser's office and then use the GIS map. And all this is free data, and they're pretty interactive and pretty good, because this is how they make subdivision. This is how they make, tax boundary lines and draw lines for tax purposes and also for political purposes. So these maps are very interactive, right? Because politicians use these as well when they want to gerrymander the lines and all that too. So this is good tools to use. And you could measure from this thing if you need to measure. You could, again, this is the most important tool you want to use. The layer tool. That's the most important tool. You could turn stuff on and off. And then if you don't understand what something means, use the legend here, right? It tells you each square means that that's the parcel. And then, of course, the lines are always a road, right? Parcel, road. And then sometimes this is the county limits, right? So always use this as your friend. Parcel. And of course, you always, use your Google Map and your Zillow when you have to. And you can even, I think you can even mark this stuff here, tag stuff if you get a little more fancy if you want to.
So let me ask you a question. This says Hinds County Parcel Viewer. Would they have a Prince George Parcel Viewer, a Baltimore County Parcel Viewer showing the same thing, or you would type in GIS?
Once you start with that, what's the next one? Prince George, you said?
Yeah,
In county.
George County.
Oh, you could try Prince George. It was complicated, but I was trying to see if they had it on Marion.
Or Marion, yeah. Any one of them, I'm wondering if it's pretty, same.
Yeah, so let me see. So the URL is probably off, but to answer your question, once you start with the property appraisal and wherever that property is located, the map will bring you to that same thing. So it will bring you to Prince George, will bring you to, Baltimore or whatever. It will bring you to that same thing.
Okay.
Because all of them are, it's like fair game. So all the counties has to do the same display. You can't have it in one county and not in the other. So they tend to use the map because it's for the entire state and the state pays for it anyway. So you tend to get everything that you need. But yeah, so you would have a Prince George County parcel view. And they might call it a different name, might say GIS map. Or some of them even tie into Google, and so it becomes Google Map after a while, right? Because it's overlaid with Google as well. So, but it's very interactive. Anytime it's interactive, so it means that when you have the plus and minus signs, you have the layer here, that it's a GIS format of a map. And those maps are the best maps. So those thousands of dollars spent into getting those maps updated daily. Right.
Oh, okay, good.
So this is pretty good. Right. So this was Hinds County again, right? So yeah, so the short answer is definitely always take a peek on the 10 that you picked out just to see where they are and what's going on with them. And if you like what you see, if it's a standard home, standard block, standard street, you could go ahead and bid. If it gets a little bit complicated, because there's so much to choose from, stay away from the complicated stuff. It's not clear, like night and day, like what is this? If you can't answer that in 2 seconds, just move on. Because of course, there's always will be some gem hidden somewhere, but for going faster, you want to just pick the ready-made stuff, the stuff that are clear cut. It's a nice parcel. It's a real house. It's not a mobile home. X, Y, Z, right? You just move forward with those. Otherwise, you get caught up in, and then you don't want to get pulled into the weeds already. Because just by working in the lots already, you see that there's a lot to look at. And then if you go deeper again, you're going to end up in the weeds. And before you know it, you do 2 hours and you only look at one property.
In the weeds.
Get in the weeds.
Okay.
Just
do you mind
just
stop
now, right?
sharing?
Don't move into Mississippi, right? That's what happened.
Well, I'm all about a move, so I'm like, be careful, Maria. Okay.
This was priceless.
It was.
Yeah, I hope so. Let me ask this, Maria. When you first came on to now, how are we feeling? How are you feeling in regards to?
When I first came on, I was feeling a little lost.
Okay.
I did send you my spreadsheet and I was looking at it, but Anthony has really helped me see how to just kind of navigate, especially through the Hinds County, and all the things to look at. There are still some things that I'm still kind of, trying to catch on to, but for the most part, I have an understanding, of what needs to be done to actually, invest in a tax lien. However, I do need to go back to the site, navigate, try to figure out how to sign up for, bidding or actually going in there to do
Mhm.
it. So I'm gonna work on that in the morning.
Yeah. And
I'm
like
gonna
I
play
said,
with it, and if,
no, I was gonna say like like we were talking about earlier, like if it gets too
yeah,
complicated or if you get too frustrated,
I'm gonna
let's
reach
stick,
out.
yeah, and
Reach
let's go with Marion County for this first round,
Okay,
which
yeah,
is, so don't, I want to say, I know in my email it said to try to invest locally, and
mhm,
there is some truth to that, but we also want to just like make a move. So we want to go
yeah,
with what's user friendly, what's beginner friendly. And
right,
so I'm encouraging you guys to really look into Marion County because
okay,
their website is just very user friendly. So even just to save time, save brain cells, save, patience and
Mhm.
all that good stuff,
Yep.
we may all want to just try to do Marion County.
okay.
Um and then I guess Janae, how are you feeling? Um
Janae,
you might not be
I'm
there.
here. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I I mean, I felt like I feel more confident now than I did before. There's still a lot to learn, and the type of learner that I am, I actually have to practice.
Okay.
Um, and I'm a repetitive learner, so the more that I put it into practice, the more confident that I'll become. I'm glad that we did get to spend a little bit of time on the PG website
Mhm.
because I was able to kind of navigate it a little bit more and take notes.
Okay.
Um, but I do feel, like I still want to do PG in addition to Marion County.
So I would encourage all of us, because I'm going to do it the same thing, is to take advantage of Marion County, the website, because it has the practice. It has a practice portal, right? So you can
That's what
practice without
practice. Yeah.
fear of like making an error or something of that sort. So I encourage you guys to kind of go on there to practice as well. Miss Janice, how you feeling?
Oh, much better because I got notes. You should see this table. I got a little bit over Maryland, Prince George over here. I got Mississippi over here. I got Florida down here, and I'm shuffling this. But I going over the properties and seeing the different columns on the Excel spreadsheet was very helpful. And just like Janae says, I'm a learner that when I do, it'll stick and it'll solidify. And then I think we could transfer it to whatever county because I'm up here in Fairfield County in Connecticut, and I don't even want to attempt that
No.
because like I said, when I went on the Florida one, the Marion County, it just flowed better.
Hmm.
So I'm all for
Mhm.
taking the first jump with these liens because we only got a finite period of time, correct? After this
Right.
Yep.
passes, that's it.
Yep,
Yep.
this
Do
is
it
it.
Then
over
we have to
next year
do this
again.
next year. Then it's next
Yeah.
year we do this.
Yeah. But you can pick up, over the counter at the end of the season. You get the good thing about those, you get the full face value, which is 18%. It's not a bidding process anymore. Whatever the
Mhm.
whatever the whatever the dollar amount is that to be paid, you pay that amount and you're going to be getting the 18%. The only thing is that some of them fell through the cracks. You find those fine, but a little bit extra due diligence because if they're missed by others, means that it's either a red flag or something, but not necessarily. But just have to do a little bit more careful, right? Because when it goes to the county just going to sit on it because nobody wanted it, right? So if it fell through the crack, and you could snap it up, great for you. But just don't assume that it's 18% and it's a gold mine or it's a perfect sweet property. It might be one of those properties that are just problem child, right? So just be mindful of that. But it's still worth looking into. You could pick up a few, especially when the season is just concluded. And, it was just one of those that was missed, being picked up. You probably could get a few gold mines here, but always be careful. Again, you saw the ones that we saw with the L shape and the wedge shape.
Yeah.
People would say, why would the county do that and sell these? They're not into doing the due diligence for you, right? They're into making the tax base to make sure they could keep the fire department open, the police department open. So they're going to sell everything, even if it's floating in the air, they're going to sell it to you, right? We have to do our homework to make sure that it's not one of those lemons that we're picking up, all right? So that's why
So
it's worth.
if it's a lemon you picked up, let's just say you picked up the L shape. Let's say it was $500. You get the full face value of 18. You can't. Nobody will buy it from you. That's why it's a lemon. You're stuck with it.
You
Will you
stuck with
get
it till
paid?
another person comes along and do the same mistake like you again, and then you're like, oh, good riddance, right?
And
So you
is
just
that's not with the tax lien though. That's with like dealing with the deed. So if
no, but
it's
that's
just
for
a
the tax lien as well too, because
oh,
you're gonna pay the taxes for that piece of property that's in no man's
Garbage.
land, right?
right.
And then you're not going to pursue it. Okay, you're not going to want to spend the money to go to court to pursue it because you can't do anything with it. So you're waiting for the next guy to buy it for the next year. I hope that he takes it to court so that you can get your money back. So you're stuck with that property in a sense where it's a lemon. So that's why, even though the process of doing tax lien is lucrative, there's always a few duds in there, right? And the county's not there to be nice to say, well, you know what, this is unfair. They're gonna, you see the wedge that they're selling, that they're, putting up there. They see the L shape that they're putting up. They don't care because it's a tax basis. They need the money, right? And so it's not useful to anybody, but they'll
So
sell
you're
it anyway.
stuck with it. You're stuck with it, and you're not going to get paid your 18%. Is basically it. Until, like, if I bought it, Jasmine or somebody else would have to buy it, then I would get
Correct.
paid my 18%.
Correct. Correct.
Well, they
Oh,
would
You're
have to
stuck.
buy it and take it to court, right?
No, they're going to pay the tax bill for that next year, right? And they will become the second person behind you now, right? And so that person pay the tax bill for that year because again, it's not paid the following year. So it's like a compounded, right?
Right.
So the bill that they're paying, the second person coming after you're going to pay twice as much because he's paying yours, because you're not going to pay it the next year. He's like, I'm not the property owner. So he's have to pay that one and then the year for that current year as well, right? So you're stuck with, both of you are stuck with the property until somebody decides to just walk away. So you're going to, if you look, and to be honest, if you look on the track record, you're going to see that these properties are always tax certificates, always. So again, when you go in the trick to see the pattern, if you see a pattern of all certificate every year religiously, go deeper and see if it's, oh man, why is this every year? Is it a dud? Or is it just somebody who's just lackadaisical who just pay whenever they want to pay, right? Because some people are like, down with the government, I'm not paying my taxes, but they know they pay it before the 2 years run out, right? So you always want to just see that history. That's why the history is important, right? It tells you that this is a lemon that's just been bounced around from investor to investor. And that's why when I teach a class, I give you everything. I'm not going to hold back because I don't want you to pick up a lemon, right? I want you to get good stuff that you could either get your money back or get the property in itself, right? And that's why people say, why you don't do certain states? Like the redemption states. I don't do redemption states when it comes to the tax deeds, because why would I want to get the property, own it outright, and then you still have the right to take it from me 2 years later? I don't want to go through that. If I'm going to go, once I get the title or the warranty deed or the statutory deed, it's mine.
Yeah.
And that's why we do the quiet title, right? It's a little more extra, but that's why we do the quiet title. Shut up everybody and say, hey, this is mine. Your grandmother own it? Yeah, too bad. It's mine now, right? And so you shut everybody out with the court, because the court works for you, and say, hey, you have the right to own the property. Or you let it quiet itself after 4 years, right? But just be mindful. It's good pickings, but just make sure you do your due diligence on these properties. Always, always, always. No shortcut. All right?
Very, 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 very good.
Woo.
So
Man,
I
I need a drink.
Yes. So now here comes the first I want to do just say, like, thank you, Anthony. This has been really great.
Anytime.
I feel that every time we have a course, I know I walk away like, oh, okay, I get it. I think I'm ready. Like, I got it. Although I do know there's more research to be done. So now the accountability lady, that's me, is coming in. I'm stepping in because I feel that we don't necessarily need to have another course. Well, I want to do another course about the tax deed states, but that's later, later. But I think we as new property tax lien investors, we probably should get together one more time before June the 1st. And this get together, you're going to decide which county, and you should have it set up. So you should have your county chosen, your portal set up, and then also have, I think it'd be safe to say, 20 properties. And so we're going to meet again to make sure that that is in place and we have that done. So this is our homework for tonight. So I already know I'm going Marion County, I love all you guys and where y'all live, but I'm gonna stick with the easy because I have a lot, and I think that we need to be cognizant of that too. Learning curve, time that we have to expend, to spend on this. Let's be realistic. So I'm gonna go with Marion County because my time is tight. I'm got a lot on my plate. It seems to be very user friendly. So I'm gonna do that. I started my portal. So I'm going to finish my portal. I'm going to have my money funded and I'm going to have my list of 20. And I would like for you all to do the same. Have your county, have your portal, have your funding. And I think we realized tonight that you can do it as something as small as $200. If that's all that you have, let's do something, even if it's just to buy one certificate. We've invested this time to learn.
Classes,
So,
yeah.
yeah, 3 classes, and it's been probably maybe about 6 hours of learning. About 5 to 6 hours of learning, and then what you've done independently. So let's not let it be in vain. So if I'm moving, I don't really have a lot of money, but I'm gonna I'm gonna try to get me at least 2 or 3. My budget's gonna be, to be honest, like $300. That's what I got, y'all. $300. That's what I got.
I need just help with the setting up the portal. I think I'm okay with the picking of properties. I'm going to practice on the website. Funding it, I think I'm good with that. But the Excel spreadsheet or whatever of the 20 that I want, I think I need some assistance with that.
So I can help you with that. Say it again.
Marion County is in what state again?
Florida. It's Ocala. And just to let you know, I'll say a little bit about Ocala. It's an up and coming area in Florida. It's like the equestrian, it's kind of known for horses, or equestrian city. They're actually running a new highway up that way to make it more accessible from Tampa. So it is a growing area, right? So what's happening in the Tampa area is Tampa's now saturated. So people are now having to push outward. And Ocala is one of the directions that they're going in. Okay. Yeah. Just so you can kind of feel
very, 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 very developed. The number of houses that were built over the last 4 years is more than what we built over the last 40. That's the growth that they had exponentially. It's so ridiculous. They had a Wawa supermarket, Wawa gas station. They had ribbon cutting the same day for 3. That same day in the same city. They had, racetrack, all these other. So it's growing so fast that people are starting to push further south as well, including myself, right? So, further north side. So it's a good place. And there's a tidbit to show you what happened. I was buying tax deeds for $2,000 and $4,000 and $5,000, and I was complaining like, oh, that's too much. When I go back to the auction, they're $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, the same property, same exact property. That's how hot the neighborhood is right now. So, it's a good way to get you in, because when you get in with tax liens, invested in that neighborhood or in that city or in that state, and you're there for life now. And if you play the long haul, it's a windfall. If you play the short game, it's still a windfall, right? Because your money under the mattress or in the bank is not giving you anything near in the double digits, right? So it's a perfect way to get started again. And it's good practice for kids. It's good for the grandkids. It's good for everybody to just snap up stuff and, take back what was stolen from us, right? That doesn't matter, right? Legally, right? We don't need any politician to help us here. We help ourselves, and we take it back one quarter acre or 1 acre at a time.
Exactly.
And say, hey, we said it right this time. We say, hey, here's a trust that we're going to put it in. We're going to put it in a trust. So no one of the kids can't come and sell it off. It's in the trust, and it passed down until the last generation, 20 generation from now, decide to do something else, right? Perfect. So it's what we call managing from the grave, right? And that's what we need to get good at, right? Managing from the grave, right? But that's
okay, I hear another class coming. So
we got
needs coming, then we got managing from the grave. It's going to be like FTBS part 2.
Okay, I love it.
Man.
All right.
That's good, man. We earn it, man. We earned it. We deserve this. We earned this. We earned this. We're not asking for anything. We earn all this. We earn it. And then some. So this is it.
Our 40 acres and a mule.
Okay.
Exactly. We're mafia taking back what's ours. Right?
That's
So let me
right.
take from us. So.
Right. So I will send a follow-up email for sure to everyone. But I'm thinking, so the scary part about it is that next week is kind of like going into the weekend is the holiday. So I would like to try to catch you guys before I get into vacation mode. So I'm thinking like next Wednesday is kind of what I'm thinking,
Let's
right?
pick a, yeah, let's see. What's today? That's
So
the
today is the
22nd.
16th. The 22nd, that's before the weekend, because I think I'm not available the 23rd, and then that's the weekend. So
All
And
right.
I'll be in Janae's town for my birthday.
oh good. Yay.
Happy
That sounds
birthday.
like fun.
Thank you.
Nice.
What day is your birthday?
Happy birthday.
June 3rd.
Okay, June 3rd. So you're gonna stay until then?
I'm gonna be there. Well, I'm good for next week, and
Okay.
I'm just letting you know after that I'll be in
Yeah.
vacation.
So
That's
the
awesome.
22nd is good.
Yeah, that's
The
good.
22nd?
That's good.
Okay.
All right. I'm putting that in my phone because I
No,
just have to
just
meet before the 30th.
Yep. Yes. So the 22nd is when we'll get together. And it may just be the four of us. We're not going to apply any pressure to Anthony. He's been great.
Yes.
If we need him, we can speed dial him or text him or something.
Yep. You
Yes.
can take my number, my email, phone number, whatever. Anything you need, take. So-
We'll put like, we'll have you, what did they have it on the call a friend? We'll like call a friend, dial a friend.
Yeah.
So I will
my answer ready. My answer is going to be go for it. Then.
go for it. So we will do that. So I'll send an email out tomorrow, just kind of outlining what the expectations are and the date and the time. So on the 22nd, around the same time, 7 p.m.-ish. That's okay?
Yeah.
All right. Guys, I'm so excited. I don't even know. I'm so excited because
And we got something to report.
yeah, and I think not only that, I just think that like we're making our first step as investors, and you can then now feel comfortable after you have your certificates, you are an investor. Like you can say it, because there's so many different strategies to real estate investment. So you'll be legit. So that's what I was trying to say. I think I'm gonna spare $300. So that's what I got. That's what I'm gonna work with. And I hope you guys do the same too, just to try to figure out your budgets, no matter how small or how big. We just want to get in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right, get in the game.
Definitely agree 100%.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank
you
you guys so much. And I
Thank
will
you.
when I send out the email, I'll send this link as well for this recording. So you guys can review it again because a lot of good information in here too.
Beautiful.
All right.
Thanks
Thank you
so much.
guys.
Thank you guys. Thanks for
Have
the
a great
energy and
night.
everything else.
Thank
That was
you.
great.
Commitment. Appreciate it. Good
Thank
night.
you,
And
Em.
happy birthday when it comes, Maria.
Thank
Yes,
you.
happy birthday.
Happy
Thank you
birthday.
guys.
All righty.
All
Good
right.
night.
Have a
you.
great night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.